It's time for Michigan Sports Talk Morning Show, broadcasting live all across the state of Michigan and Northwest Ohio. This is X's and Bros.
Swings it out to Sadiq Bey. Gets Benny in the car.
To Abdul-Rahman at midcourt. Extra pass. And it goes for the win. The three-pointer by Jordan Poole. Here's the give. Walker. Kenneth Walker. Touchdown. Smarty.
Goff's got it. Back. Looks. Throws. Ends up.
Yes.
Caught. Touchdown Detroit Lions. They did it. Amon-Ra St. Brown in the receiving end.
Sends one to deep left center field. Back it goes, and that ball's out of here. A grand slam from Miguel Cabrera. He's got 2 goals. Larkin in on goal. Scores! His first career hat trick in his 7th season for Dylan Larkin.
Here's your host, Anthony Bellino.
Rise and shine, folks. Good Wednesday morning to you. It's Hump Day. It's also the 24th day of May 2023. We welcome you here to X's and Bros on the Michigan Sports and Network. Danny Cahill, Ryan Elke, Anthony Bellino, all joining you. Thank you for joining us, no matter who you are, where you are, how you may be listening, all across the great state of Michigan and in Northwest Ohio as well. From Traverse City down to the Glass City, GR to the Motor City, we say good morning to you. We welcome you. We thank you. We appreciate you. And, of course, we encourage you to join the program at any time. You can text the keyword Sports Radio. Send that to 21,000, Sports Radio to 21000. Our Meyer Supercenter guest line, 248-951-2176, 248-951-2176. We're on Twitter at XB Mornings, Facebook, X's and Bros, and, of course, good morning to our television audience as well on both BCSN and streaming on our YouTube page at Michigan Sports Network. Add a .com to that to find our website, and you can find us all individually on Twitter. Danny Cahalan is at Dan in the studio. Ryan Elke is at RyanL_Key, and I'm Anthony Bellino at AC Bellino. Gentlemen, good morning to both of you. How are we this morning on this Wednesday?
Doing good. I was watching the news this morning when I got in, and there was some news from the Ford Motor Company that they will not be getting rid of AM radio in their 2024 models. And their cited reasoning was due to what we have been reading all along, that is very important for the emergency alert system. So it looked like everyone who texted in, we did it.
Good job, people.
Good job.
Good job. I mean, more than 80 million Americans depend on AM radio for their news, traffic, weather, sports, and community connection. It's also, like Ryan was saying, the backbone of the emergency alert system.
Can we all agree, like,
why would you get rid of it?
Why don't we just do the emergency alert system check at like 3 a.m. when nobody's listening instead of,
Well, they want tested at different times to test different people working at the stations. Make sure you're always prepared for an emergency.
Do you have a plan? Visit ready.gov.
Yes, I know where I'm going.
They didn't just make that website up for nothing. There's a reason that's there and that they advertise that. But either way, thank God for the Ford Motor Company. We love the Fords here on this show. Sheila, I called her and I was like, what's going on here? I was like, we got Rodrigo, we got Hutchinson, we need AM radio.
How long of an extension did you have to sign?
Like, 40 years.
40 years with a 1% raise over that time. I did this for you, kid.
I had to give them 20% back. That's what that was.
Also, I watched the new White Men Can't Jump, so you don't have to.
Oh, good. Yes.
And
thank you.
You don't have to.
Yeah, you can't.
You
can't remake that.
Well, they did a good job of tying it to today's the whole technology gap between 1991 and now. And even the actor, like Jack Harlow and the other actor, his name's escaping me, they did a fine job. The writing of the movie was terrible.
Wait, is it a movie or is it a TV series?
It's a movie.
Oh, okay. So it is an actual remake.
Yeah. So, the way they adapted it to these times were, I think they did a decent job at that. Just the the way it all tied up at the end was not good. I'll tell you off air so I don't spoil it for everyone in case people did want to watch it. Because there's some entertaining parts, and if it was a standalone movie today, I'd give it a solid, like, C. Like something you put on in the background while you're, like, doing other things or cleaning. Like, I think you could half enjoy it doing that, but knowing how the first one ends and this one ends, it's like, yeah, no thank you.
Yeah, it's a who played Gloria, by the way?
Is it Laura Henning? I believe is her name.
Did she do a good job in like that role?
So it was a little bit different. She wasn't the as feisty as Rosie Perez, but very good looking woman. They redid the iconic scene of driving down the road and yeah. So but yeah, there's no Jeopardy. I will break that to you. I'll spoil that for you. There's no Jeopardy like C story in this in this movie, but no, I think she did a great job. But yeah, I will spoil it for you, Anthony, off air.
Good,
because I know you have zero plans to watch it.
Yeah, I will not be.
If listeners, if there's ever a garbage movie or TV show that you kind of want to know what happens but don't want to watch it, let me know. I'll do it for you.
Text the keyword sports radio to 21,000. Ryan will let you know.
I'll do that dirty work.
He'll inform you of what's going on. Do you watch the Vanderpump Rules?
No, I do not. I do not indulge in that.
But you do know what it is.
Yes.
Okay.
I do know the drama of what's going on in that show right now.
Okay. Does your wife watch it?
No.
Oh. Wow.
Just from Twitter and, Instagram and everything. So.
Gotcha. I was I was caught off guard by somebody who was very interested in that. So I went online and, my goodness, you talk about scandal. You talk about a lot of folks are dialed into that. I'm like, oh, that's interesting. I've never heard of the Vanderpump.
It's just your basic cheating scandal.
Yeah, basically.
That's all it was.
But it's reality TV.
Yeah,
that's what makes
just
it.
a best friend sleeping with her best friend's fiance. That's it.
By the way, have you ever wanted to be on Survivor?
No, I've actually never watched Survivor.
Okay, well, the tribe has spoken here. You can actually try out for Survivor at Put-in-Bay. I don't know when it is. I don't know if it's this weekend or when it is. But they are doing
the 2 Club Invitational.
I mean, that talk about survival. But yeah, they are going to actually host a casting call at Put-in-Bay for Survivor. I couldn't believe it. I was shocked. Shocked that they are going to go to Put-in-Bay for it.
You might be a good candidate.
I can't get that kind of time off. Football season's here. What's the matter with you? Skip out on the Lions making the playoffs for the first time in 100 years so I can go play around on some deserted island somewhere and try to make, twine out of palm leaves.
He just signed a 40-year deal, Dan.
I just 20 seconds ago. Were you not listening? 40 years. I got to do this and give him money back. All because of AM radio.
And be Rory.
Costume sweaty and it smells funny. All right, we're going to step aside when we return. Tigers last night, they played the Royals, a little bit of a later game for them. NBA Eastern Conference Final, Stanley Cup Western Conference Final. Good, very excited about what's going on there. We got to get into what happened with the Dallas Stars game. I mean, my goodness, when is the NHL ever going to step up and do something? For the love of God. It's got to be now. It's got to be against Dallas. And we'll tell you what's going on with that as well. But don't go anywhere. Keep it locked right here to X's and Bros. Good thing we still have AM radio. Hopefully. Whoa.
You didn't let me finish putting it in there, so can't. Now it's all jumbled, Anthony. Oh, now we're good.
Oh, good day. Will's very happy. Will in Greenville. There he is. I haven't heard from him in a while. Will driving to Greenville. Good morning to you. I think Will listens I think he's a 96.1 guy, if I'm not mistaken. Right?
Yeah, I think so.
He's always driving somewhere, but so that's interesting. But yeah, good thing we still have AM radio. Man, that's great. Good day, fellas. Well, thank you, Will. We appreciate that. We'll step aside. We'll be back with more X's and Bros after this here on the Michigan Sports Network.
Shop everything you need for Memorial Day with one stop at Meijer. Get buy one, get one free 80% lean ground beef. Buy 5, save $5 on Aunt Millie's Stadium buns, Coca-Cola or Pepsi 24-pack, plus deposit where applicable. Sweet Baby Ray's sauce and Lay's potato chips. Plus, have fun in the sun with 40% off the entire stock of swimwear for the family. Celebrate together and get the same prices online and in-store this week at Meijer. Exclusions apply. See all the deals in the Meijer app.
Godsmack, live and in your face. Friday, May 26th at Soaring Eagle Casino, plus Bad Wolves. And same show, same night, Bullet for My Valentine. Tickets start at $28, on sale now at the Soaring Eagle box office or etix.com. Party hard, rock harder. Godsmack, May 26th, part of the Soaring Eagle Summer Outdoor Concert Series.
Huge here for my good friend Tom Rosenbach and his team at Bean Carter. They're one of America's top accounting and business firms. They're based in downtown Grand Rapids, and now they're stronger than ever before with their new partnership with Dorn Mayhew. Now, Dorn Mayhew is an east side firm. Now you get the west side of Michigan with Bean Carter, and whether you're a small business or big business, they can handle all of your accounting and business needs at Bean Carter. Just go to beancarter.com. That is BEENEGARTER.com. And I mentioned with their new partnership with Dorn Mayhew, they cover all of Michigan, the Midwest, and coast to coast. Find out how the pros at Bean Carter can help your business today. Go to beancarter.com. That is BEENEGARTER.com. And I know Tom Rosenbach and his team are so happy about their new partnership with Dorn Mayhew.
Share your thoughts all morning long on the Meyer Guest Line. Call 248-951-2176. That's 248-951-2176. Now, back to Danny, Ryan, and AB.
Hey, folks, great weather. Golf season is officially here. A little twilight action last night. That was fun. Matt Gold and his team, they're ready to welcome you to one of the best golfing experiences in the great state of Michigan. Tullymore Golf Resort Canadian Lakes offers not one but two championship courses. Tullymore and St. Ives, located about an hour north of Grand Rapids, 30 minutes west of Mount Pleasant. It's up north golf without the drive. It's smack dab in the middle of the state, easy to get to no matter what direction you're coming from. And Matt told me personally, all your listeners are welcome. All you got to do is call him. Call him right now. Here's his phone number. I'll give it out to you. 1-800-972-4837, 1-800-972-4837. Or visit TullymoreGolf.com, TullymoreGolf.com. That is the website. Danny Cahalan, Ryan Elke, Anthony Bellino, all joining you. Last night, the Royals, they joined us, and they put up a lot of action there in the fourth inning.
He didn't have command of the ball or what he was thinking.
Br0's goes on first movement. That is right on the line. Br0's will score. Massey checks in at second base with an RBI double, and the Royals lead 1-0.
When you rip certain pitches.
There's a base hit to left field. Garcia drives in Massey, and Garcia thought about digging for second, but Baddoo made a good
strikes, but you just expand the zone thinking every pitch is an 0-2 type pitch.
Center field, deep enough to score another run. Here comes Garcia down the line. Bradley goes to third, and the Royals have three in the fourth inning.
Oh, man. I'll tell you what, the Royals use AM radio. That much is for sure. Yeah, good for them. 4-1 your final score from last night's game. And, all right, so we're not going to go 7-0 this week. That might have been a little bit of a far-fetched idea here, but just really nothing. Eduardo Rodriguez on the hill goes 5 innings, 8 hits, 4 runs, only 2 of which were earned. 2 walks against, struck out 9 through 90 total pitches. But this Tigers team just, stranded 10. They were 2 of 7 with runners in scoring position. Couldn't get
another, I think, 12 strikeouts, so that makes it 30 in the last 3 games.
12 team strikeouts, only 4 team walks in last night's game. That's our discipline ratio there. Not good.
Yeah, the
1-3.
The inconsistency of the plate appearances is really the what's holding this team back right now. Because
did it feel like because the Royals, they know the Royals are bad, they just wanted to jump on them, and that every pitch looked like, we gotta swing at it.
Well, yeah. Plus, Mike Myers, he puts a wrinkle in pretty much everything. So,
does he come out to the Halloween music?
I don't know. What Shep got a giggle out of me with that line. Yeah, he was.
What'd Shep say?
He said, it was something to the effect of Myers retires like his 11th straight, cue the Halloween theme. Something like that.
Good for Shep. That's great when they can work something in that they didn't have to go too far for, but it just makes sense. That's good. I like that a lot, especially in this sport. Day to day, you need some material from time to time.
Yeah, and that's really what. So just the day-to-day consistency in your plate appearances. You can win when the opponent scores 4 runs. You should feel like, hey, we could still win this game. Not, this one's over with.
Yeah, run support not exactly one of our strong suits. Like we'll have a game where we go for 8, and then there's last night. Like the last 2 games have been a really good microcosm of the season. You get a really good effort in Monday's game, and then Tuesday's just kind of like, what's going on here?
And also, they do know when the bases are loaded, they can score runs in those opportunities, right? Do we need to tell them?
It'd be nice to go opposite field there.
Psst, hey, you're allowed to score here. It's cool.
Send a little chopper down the right field line, right over top of the first baseman.
I mean, I believe it's Zach McKinstry that was like robbed of a hit with the bases loaded with one out, where he hits it right up the middle.
Oh, that was Jake Rogers. Jake Rogers' dad was swearing in the stands.
Yeah, so it was Jake Rogers. Hits a screamer up the middle. They kind of played a mini shift on him where the second baseman was shading up the middle. Was able to make a diving catch. Then it was McKinstry's the next batter. He struck out. So
bad mix there. McKinstry, 2 strikeouts on the day. He was 1 for 4 with a run score. Scope came in for him to pinch hit and drew a walk. Riley Green was 1 for 3, drew a walk, struck out twice. Haas came in to pinch hit. He was 0 for 1 with a strikeout. You had Javi go 2 for 4. Did have a throwing error. Did have an RBI. Did have 1 strikeout. So another game where Javi's just all over the box score there. Torque was 0 for 4 with 2 Ks. Not a great outing from him. Maton was 1 for 2 with 2 walks. That's pretty good. Good for him. I'm very happy about that.
Did you see Torkelson? I don't maybe a second at bat, third at bat. He struck out, swinging, and he threw some expletives back at Mike Myers. And it's like, you swung and missed at a ball right down the middle. Like, why are you swearing at him?
Because he struck him out. He doesn't like him.
It was like a 89-mile-an-hour slider right down the middle, and he just swung right over it. And he drops a bleeping bleep on this guy. It's like, come on. It's on you.
Well, I'm sure Myers giggled. I'm sure he got a good giggle out of it, right? I mean, there's nothing you can in that regard, unless if it was a pitch that was like inside some chin music and like hit him in the esophagus and he starts swearing, that's different than, I strike you out and you start cursing at me because I'm just going to like wink at you. Tell you, have a nice day. That's about it. I think that's kind of that's good. It's kind of fun, right? I mean, good for them. I'm glad he cares. Of course he cares. But Torque's average now at 229 for those interested. Vierling was 1 for 4. He had a strikeout. Cabrera was 1 for 4 with a strikeout. His average sits at 181 right now for Miggy. Akil Baddoo was 1 for 3. Andy Ibanez came in. He didn't do anything. And Jake Rogers, 0 for 4 with a couple of Ks. Team strikeout numbers, we mentioned 12. They drew 4 walks. It was not good. Gave you Erod's numbers, 10 left on base. Oh, my. Bad day. But that's okay. There's always tomorrow. That's the best. That's the beauty about baseball, is that there's always tomorrow. If they come back and win the series tonight, 7:40 first pitch against the Royals again, very consistent with our game times here. Series tied at 1-1. If you win the series, you take 2 out of 3. You feel relatively good going into the 4-game series against the Chicago White Sox. I would I would be okay with all of that right there. Like, I'm good. You took 2 out of 3. Okay, if you could take 3 out of 4 and win that White Sox series, then we're looking at a 5-2 week. That's a really good week. And it's baseball. You're not going to win every game. 7-0 is way too delusional, right? It's more than likely not going to happen. You're going to have some losses in there. But if you go 5-2, I think that's pretty good. Even if you went 4-3 and made it a plus week, I'd be happy with that. I would be happy with that. So maybe they'll get it done tonight. Hopefully so. On this Wednesday, I can't.
Yes, I agree. Just gotta get the wins when Eduardo's on the mound. The Joey Wentzes of the world aren't doing it right now. You have to get the wins when Eduardo is on the mound.
No, I understand. That's you're right. That's got to take advantage when your ace is out there. You have to, and they do.
Until then he gets traded. Did you see the Alex Lang rumors? Why trade him? You have him for a few years still, under control.
Well, I mean, that's the big thing, though, right? Player control in an MLB contract is a very nice carrot to dangle in front of a general manager who might be looking at that and might have an offer. If you're Scott Harris, I think everybody's on the table. I think the only guy that you're really protecting here, Riley Green and Torque. Maybe we'll talk to John Wagner about this and more baseball coming up next year on X's and Bros on the Michigan Sports Network.
Shop everything you need for Memorial Day with one stop at Meijer. Get buy one, get one free 80% lean ground beef. Buy 5, save $5 on Aunt Millie's Stadium buns, Coca-Cola or Pepsi 24-pack, plus deposit where applicable. Sweet Baby Ray's sauce and Lay's potato chips. Plus, have fun in the sun with 40% off the entire stock of swimwear for the family. Celebrate together and get the same prices online and in-store this week at Meijer. Exclusions apply. See all the deals in the Meijer app.
For a lot of us, music and mental health are intertwined. That's why the Collaborative Lab created In Tune, a free live stream event, and you're invited. May 18th is Mental Health Action Day, so take action for your own mental health by joining us from 7 to 9 p.m. Musical performances and conversations with the Verve Pipe, Barrel Bones, Carlos Sese, Cole Hansen, and more. Visit IUnderstandLoveHeals.org to learn how you can join the party for free.
From planting a simple seed to managing a global food supply, growing, processing, and distributing food is the backbone of America. You deal with food safety and labor issues, cost control, and not to mention Mother Nature. But do you have time to explore research development and biotechnical tax credits? Properly administer payroll for temporary employees. Ensure that you're operating at your most profitable? That's where we come in. We're Bean Garter. And while your business is America's food supply, our business is helping you run your business better. We'll assist with tax credits, assess your processes and controls, and so much more. And while we may not be able to help you plant your crops, we can help you realize a rich financial harvest. From the family farm to worldwide distribution of all the things you grow, grow your business better. Experience service, expertise, and simplicity at Bean Garter. Find us online, beangarter.com. Bean Garter.
Welcome back here to X's and Bros on the Michigan Sports Network. Danny Galen, Ryan Elke, Anthony Bellino, all joining you. Join us now, a member of the National Football Foundation and Football Writers Association of America. He also covered the Detroit Tigers minor league system for a couple of decades. Our good buddy John Wagner. Find him on Twitter at John Wagner Media. Johan, my good friend, how are you? How's life? How are things, partner?
Anthony, I am a little place in heaven. How are you this morning?
I am absolutely fantastic. I know, big night last night between the Celtics and Heat. I know you were dialed in, couldn't take your eyes off the screen, but we'll hold on for all of your playoff thoughts on the National Basketball Association, or the association as we call it, the Biz. The Detroit Tigers entered last night's game 2 of their 3-game series against the Kansas City Royals, with a 21-24 record. And John, just like I preached to you, like I preached to all of our good people here on this program that listen all across the world on the iHeartRadio app, it's free to download. You got to wait until at least after the holiday. When we get through the holiday, then we could start to make some conclusions or assumptions, or start to be able to identify some strengths and some weaknesses of some teams. But you got to get at least 40 games in, John.
Oh, my goodness. Well, after last night's loss, they've got in more than 40 games. How about that? I take it that even though I know you were watching, quote-unquote, the association.
That's how we say it in the Biz,
night.
John, the association.
Yeah, okay, great. Those of us who don't care about the association didn't watch it. I watched the Tigers, watched a little bit of Guardians, White Sox. Had to do a little work after that. So, but it's baseball season, baby. That beautiful bright ball that's going to be in the sky today, that tells you that summer is almost here. Memorial Day is coming. First unofficial day of summer. It's summer. Get these indoor puck and ball sports and net sports gone. Be gone. It's baseball season.
Well, yeah, and look, I think the baseball season, for me, probably begins around June 1st. I would say that's probably pretty fair. But with the NHL and the NBA still going on, they're getting closer to crowning a champion. Obviously my attention and focus goes more towards their sports. And then we'll give baseball a solid 2.5, 3 weeks before, you got training camp starting up. We get geared up, ready to go for the football season. No, I'm teasing you. But this is an important time for Tigers fans. And John, I wanted to ask you this question. And this might be kind of hard unless you had a plethora of statistics and 5 rosters in front of you. But when you look at the Detroit Tigers, who are your everyday guys that you expect to see out there in the field every single day of the week?
Well, you know what, Anthony, and I'm sorry, I'm going to veer off on a tangent for a second, because I do have one roster in front of me right now. One roster. And
it's the Miami Heat.
Of course not. The Miami what? No, they're the Marlins. So just I want to correct you so you don't get it wrong again. I actually have a Tigers roster in front of me, and I'm telling you that there's one category on that roster that I am all in on, and more so than I am usually. There's one category that I'm looking at. What would you like to guess that category?
Is it a statistical category, or are we looking at it from like a roster like construction? That makes sense.
Sort of. Put it this way. If you have a Tigers roster in front of you, okay, what is the one number that you should pay the most attention to?
Well, from a team standpoint, I pay attention to team strikeouts. It's the magic number of discipline per game. But I would say maybe from an individual standpoint, probably like batting average.
No.
Really?
Neither one of those, especially looking at the long term. Because, I mean, Anthony, a couple of weeks ago, I had a couple of folks laugh at me because I mentioned, are we looking at the Tigers as a potential playoff team? And the answer is no. And I believe I said that during the broadcast, during our talk, because a lot of things would have to go right for the Tigers to make a playoff run. And they're just this team is not built for that. They just aren't. So, having said that, there's one category that on this roster has my full and undivided attention, and it's not strikeouts, not batting average. It is one. I'll try and give you a hint here, Anthony. It is a category that applies to both pitchers and hitters.
I mean, hell, that could be anything, John.
It sure could. And Anthony, I'll give you a hint. This is 100% a trick question.
Well, that's good. That makes me feel a little bit better about myself because for a second there, I was like, is this like where are we going here?
Yeah, are you thinking? Is he talking about war? Because we can't. No, no, not war. Not anything like that. It's not. Not only is it not one of those sophisticated Moneyball statistics, it is a statistic that has been important in baseball through the ages. Through the ages, Anthony.
Hits.
Oh, come on. Do I have to be any more unsubtle? Through the ages, Anthony.
Yeah, no, give it to me. What is it?
The player's age, their date of birth.
Oh, hell. That's, I mean, oh, my goodness. I never would have guessed that. I'm sitting here looking at a stat sheet right now going, what the hell is he talking about? I never would have guessed date of birth as a meaningful factor in how you're evaluating this team right now. I don't give a damn if they're 25 or 105. Can you play the game or not?
Well, here's the thing, Anthony. If you're playing in the short term, like a fair number, if you consider yourself a World Series contender, like the Dodgers or Houston or whatever team you want to name, so Tampa Bay, whatever, you feel like you are in the midst of a playoff run and you got to get ready for that. Age doesn't matter. You're right. Can a guy play right here, right now? That's all that matters. Are the Tigers in that mode?
No.
Thank you. So you have to look at down the road. And if you're looking at down the road, you're trying to figure out what is the player going to be a year, 2 years, 3 years down the road. Okay? And let me hit you with a couple of easy ones here. When you're analyzing Spencer Torkelson, the big number behind his name is his age. He's 23 years old. He's batting cleanup for the Tigers, and generally his at-bats are getting better and better and better. He's 23.
And I would argue that's 23 minus 1 because everybody lost a year of minor league development. I know some people don't want to hear about it anymore, but it plays a role. Like, it matters. They lost a year on the calendar due to COVID.
Yeah, but I mean, let me do a comparison here. Should I do the real obvious comparison or? Oh, okay. Here's a good one. Jonathan Scope, struggling this year, obviously, in a platoon situation with McKinstry at third. The most important stat behind his name is 31. That's how old he is. He's 31. In fact, he'll be 32 end of year. That means this is a guy who's on the downside, or is at least started on the downside. I think there's a value to him, but I hear all the people who want Scope gone. Okay, I hear every one of them. And if the Tigers decide to make that move, go ahead, as long as you have a replacement plan in place. And I know the name that people are going to come up with. I'd like to see that young man play some more in Toledo, and that's the Malone. I'd like to see him get more AAA at bats instead of learning in the majors, because we saw that with Torkelson last year. That was a long uphill battle, and I'd like to see him get more AAA experience. I don't think there's a race to get him to the major leagues. However, if the Tigers decide that Jonathan Scope has got to go so we can give Justin more playing time, okay, I'm good with that. Scope is 31. He's on the back end. The end. So that is not the only stat I'm using to determine players and figure out what they mean down the road, but it certainly is an important one because Torkelson and Riley Green, those are examples 1A and 1B. These are guys who are key, and I mean vital players in Detroit's everyday lineup. And they're young. They're 22. They're 23. So they have to be given time to develop. I give them as much rope as you want. Let them play every day if you can. Get them tons of at-bats. Let's see what we've got and allow them to develop.
So, how many everyday guys do you think this team has? If we think that Green and Torkelson are there, there's 2. Javi Baez at short, that gives us 3. What do you make of the rest of this group?
I'm going to use the number that I think is the important one, and that's age. That means some guys are going to get a chance to give the Tigers a pause to think that they can be guys, okay? One that I think is in this boat even more than Green and Torkelson, because I think those guys will figure it out. I think those guys are bona fide stars in the making, Green and Torkelson, okay? Offensively especially. But, yeah, and I mean, Green obviously is really good defensively too. But you know what I mean. I don't think any jury would convict if you said these guys can play and are going to be stars. A guy who the jury is out on would be Akil Baddoo. Akil Baddoo is only going to be 25 in August. You're going to give him a chance. He's got skills. He's got talent. There are a few flaws. I mean, the arm is weak out in left field. You got to hide him out there. Guy can run. Guy can swing the bat. He's 24. Let's give him a shot. Matt Beer, 26. First extended major league playing time. Gonna get a shot, and I think he deserves a shot. Okay. The other is Maton, from who also came with Veerling over from Philadelphia. Maton is 26 and a very inexperienced player as major leaguers go. He just hasn't been in majors long. He's going to get a chance. A guy that you brought up recently was Andy Ibanez. The problem with Andy Ibanez is he's 30. There's not a lot of upside. You know, he might get slightly better here, but I don't think there's a lot of upside on the Andy Ibanez's of the world. So that's why I'm saying the guys that I'm paying, or the number that I'm paying attention to right now, is the age. What kind of future do we think these guys have in the game?
Interesting. And it makes total sense, too, because, I mean, you're looking at a team and you want to know which one of your young guys has the potential, which one do you want to have, as you mentioned, get the repetitions, and then who is kind of who's on the outside looking in, and who can we afford to basically walk away from at this point. And yeah, I mean, it's a challenging question when you look at this team that is overall, competitive. I know they lost last night 4-1 in game 2 of this series this week, so they'll get the rubber match today, a little bit later on, before welcoming in the White Sox for the first of 4 beginning tomorrow. But when you look at that race, right, and trying to win games, trying to get the young guys to learn how to win, I mean, this is all part of the process that goes into rebuilding. Am I wrong in that? Like, guys have to learn how to win, and they can listen to Miguel Cabrera talk all they want. At the end of the day, they're the ones that got to be out there going to make those plays, going out there to battle in those at bats.
It's an important part, but asking guys who are not big-time major leaguers to go out and win and learn how to win, that's also a big ask, too. You know, some of these guys are out here trying to prove that they belong in the major leagues. And that's tough. You know, there are steps in the process. The first step is making it to the major leagues, which is really, really tough, okay? The second step, which might actually even be tougher, is proving that you belong in the major leagues, proving that you need to stay in the major leagues and that you are worthy of staying in the major leagues. That's a toughie. In some ways, that's tougher because suddenly, you know, when you make it, it means you have beaten the odds and beaten other minor leaguers for a chance to go to the big level. When you're in the major leagues, then you have professional, talented guys who are breaking you down. These staffs, coaches, managers, everybody are trying to figure out, can this guy play at this level? And can he make adjustments? And so on and so forth. It's hard to say. The third step then is once you figure out that you belong, is fighting that next level, becoming stars. That's hard too. They're all hard. But the hardest, in my opinion, is proving that you should stay in the major leagues. And that's what a lot of these guys on the Tigers' current roster, that's what we're working at. And that's what this year is all about.
One thing to make it there, it's another thing to stay there. He is John Wagner. Find him on Twitter at John Wagner Media. He's good enough to stay here, my friends. John, as always, partner, thank you for your time. We greatly appreciate you.
Anthony, I hope you and your listeners have a great week, a wonderful weekend, and a special Memorial Day.
Things didn't go so well for the Miami Heat last night, but things can still go well for you in the Eastern Conference with DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the association. Get in on all the excitement every game with the touch of a button. New customers can make a $5 pregame moneyline bet, score $150 in bonus bets when your team wins, plus everyone can score a no-sweat same-game parlay every day during the Eastern Conference Finals. Open up the DraftKings Sportsbook app, opt in, and place the same-game parlay on any NBA game. If it doesn't hit, no worries. You get a bonus bet back up to $10. New customers, download the DraftKings Sportsbook app right now. Sign up using the promo code HUGE. Promo code HUGE only at DraftKings. Now, if you or somebody you know has a gambling problem, wants help, needs help, call the Michigan Department of Health and Human Services Gambling Disorder Helpline, 800-270-7117, 21 plus, Michigan only. Bonus bets expire 7 days after issuance. Opt-in is required. One bonus bet issued based on the amount of the initial lose an NBA bet. Eligibility, wagering, and deposit restrictions to apply. See terms at sportsbook.draftkings.com/basketball terms. That's the end of hour number one. Don't go anywhere. Coming up in hour number two, we're going to get into what happened in the Western Conference Finals of the Stanley Cup last night. Miami and Boston in game number 4. Should there be discipline from the player safety department of the NHL? All of that and more here on X's and Bros on the Michigan Sports Network.
At Mercantile Bank, we believe supporting the communities we serve is a vital part of who we are. Our team is here to make a positive impact, a real difference, and we're always looking for leaders to join our team because we're not just a bank, we're a partner, here to support what matters most. Come grow with us. Visit mercbank.com to learn more and let's support our community together. Mercantile Bank. Member FDIC, Equal Opportunity Employer.
Imagine this, winning big at Soaring Eagle. Spin the money wheel and win up to $100,000 cash. Every Saturday in April from 5 to 11 p.m. One winner each hour will spin for the win and take home up to $100,000. Whirl in for $100,000 money wheel. Only at Soaring Eagle Casino and Resort. Your getaway reimagined. Visit SoaringEagleCasino.com for complete rules and details.
Shop everything you need for Memorial Day with one stop at Meijer. Get buy one, get one free 80% lean ground beef. Buy 5, save $5 on Aunt Millie's Stadium Buns, Coca-Cola or Pepsi 24-pack, plus deposit where applicable. Sweet Baby Ray's sauce and Lay's potato chips. Plus, have fun in the sun with 40% off the entire stock of swimwear for the family. Celebrate together and get the same prices online and in-store this week at Meijer. Exclusions apply. See all the deals in the Meijer app.
Hey, this is Matt Shepard from the Michigan Sports Network. I love summers in Michigan because it means golf season. Now, two things always when I go golfing. I make sure I got my sticks, and I've got plenty of cold, fresh Labatt Blue Light. Whether I've just squeezed in 18 holes or I just want to relax on the patio after a long day, everywhere I go, and I'm serious when I tell you this, I tell people about the smooth, genuine taste of Labatt Blue Light. It's just a great beer. Michigan Sports Network is giving you a chance to win a foursome to Michigan's best courses. Just listen weekdays to The Huge Show and X's and Bros, or just text GOLF to 21,000 to enter. That's GOLF to 21,000. The trip includes 2 overnight stays and 2 rounds of golf, all brought to you by my friends at Labatt Blue Light. So grab a Labatt Blue Light the next time you head out onto the course and enjoy the blue skies, because blue is for Michigan summers and great times. Always enjoy responsibly. Copyright 2023 Labatt USA, Buffalo, New York. All rights reserved. Labatt is a registered U.S. trademark of Labatt Brewing Company, LTD.
Huge here for all the Mr. Car Wash locations across Michigan. You're going to want to look into that unlimited monthly pass that I use. Superfly Hayes, my producer, uses it. I can get my SUV washed as often as I like for one low price. You can sign up today. Just go to MrCarWash.com or stop by your local Mr. Car Wash location here in Michigan for the one close to you. And to get that unlimited pass, go to MrCarWash.com.
Good morning, everyone.
It's time for Michigan Sports Talk Morning Show, broadcasting live all across the state of Michigan and Northwest Ohio. This is X's and Bros.
Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
It's a good morning. Wake up to a brand new day.
Hello. Good morning.
Good morning, Vietnam!
Here's your host, Anthony Bellino.
Rise and shine, folks. Good Wednesday morning to you. It is the 24th day of May, 2023. Great to have you riding along with us, no matter who you are, where you are, how you may be listening, all across the great state of Michigan and in Northwest Ohio and worldwide on the iHeartRadio app. We say good morning to you. We welcome you. We thank you. We appreciate you. And, of course, we encourage you to join the program at any time. You can text the keyword Sports Radio. Send that to 21,000 Sports Radio to 21000. Our Myers Supercenter guest line 248-951-2176, 248-951-2176. We're on Twitter at XB Mornings, Facebook, X's and Bros. And, of course, good morning to our television audience as well on BCSN and streaming live on our YouTube page at Michigan Sports Network. Add a .com to that to find our website. Danny Cahalan is at Dan in the studio. Ryan L. Key is at RyanL_Key. And I'm Anthony Bellino at AC Bellino. Let's get you all caught up with what's happening across the world of sports. We'll do so right now in the headlines.
Big news.
I have a little news flash.
Let's check the headlines.
Nah, it's real news for once.
The biggest stories of the local, regional, and national news.
This is huge news.
Huge news. All right, coming to the NFL. Be prepared to get confused just like you do in college football, because the owners took what might be the final step in decreasing injuries on kickoffs before maybe changing the kickoff altogether. They've approved a rule that incentivizes fair catches on balls fielded outside of the end zone. This season, a fair catch on a kickoff will be placed at the 25-yard line regardless of where it is fielded. The proposal is designed to counteract the recent increase in pop-up kickoffs some teams use to pin the return team deep in their own territory because they want to get rid of the kickoff altogether. Concussion rates on kickoffs have surged over the last 2 years, almost twice as high as the average on offensive or defensive plays. And that's because we don't have any data from back in the day on what kickoffs in the wedge and everything else. But, yeah, very much so think of it very much like college.
There's also much fewer. I'm sorry, the percentage of plays that happen on defense and offense is much higher than special teams. So if you have 4 special teams plays a game and one guy gets hurt, yeah, the percentage is pretty high.
Thank you for that. Yes. Yeah. But they want to get rid of it. I don't like it at all. The fact of trying to get rid of kickoffs. I think special teams actually are, I think that they matter. I think it's a lot more than just kicking field goals. A lot of guys, make rosters because of their effort on special teams. And, now they're going to be, it's just one more step. Right, one more step in which, beforehand, taking the touchback, a lot of teams were just kicking it through the end zone, but other teams are like, no, we're going to try to kick this thing with as much altitude as possible and go a little coffin corner, see if we can't kick it inside the 10-yard line with plenty of altitude to give our guys time to get down there, a little hang time, and then be able to make a play and pin them inside the 20. That was the thought process. Now, you just call for fair catch and boom, immediately spot at the 25. Be just like college football. 2 months after requesting a trade, the Chargers running back Austin Eckler is going to remain in L.A. for the final season of his contract with $1.75 million in incentives added to his deal. He turns 28 earlier this month and was scheduled to earn $6.25 million in the fourth and final season of a $24.5 million extension. So a little bit of bonus money here. If Austin Eckler can stay healthy, he might be able to get another contract that takes him into his 30s. And at the running back position, that's pretty solid. 49ers are optimistic that Brock Purdy will be ready for their season opener. Boy, isn't this wild? What has taken place at the quarterback position for San Francisco? Now, Purdy tore his UCL in his right elbow. It was repaired on March 10th after suffering the injury during the NFC Championship game on January 29th. That is what I prompted Dan Campbell and the Lions to say, hey, wait, we're proposing a rule for the roster to get an emergency quarterback in there. That got passed. The initial estimates for a timeline were 5 to 7 months, but the Niners have maintained all along that they will have a better idea of a return date once Purdy begins a throwing program at the 12-week mark. Doesn't that seem really fast in comparison to the baseball? Really fast. I mean, the UCL is the same injury. Tommy John is Tommy John, right? That's crazy.
Yeah, but
You're still throwing hard.
Yeah.
It could be a little less strenuous throwing a football than
kind of throw a pellet.
Yeah.
A little bit different. The Bears' Justin Fields said he's not worried he's worried about wins and not worried about his contract. That's probably the smartest thing he could say. He's eligible for an extension after the third season, which teams can exercise the fifth-year options on first-round draft picks. Fields obviously chosen 11th overall by Chicago in 2021. Ahead of the player's fourth year is when they could do that. But look, I don't think you can even look anywhere near Jalen Hurts or Lamar Jackson. If you're Justin Fields, you can't come off a 3-14 season and have the worst passing offense in the league and be thinking about extension. That's the right thing. We just got to worry about winning. If you win, the contract will take care of itself. If you're not winning, you're going to be out of the league. Doc Rivers and Nick Nurse in the Final Four to interview for the Phoenix Suns job. That's pretty interesting. Steph Curry wins the Kareem Abdul-Jabbar Social Justice Champion Award. The honor is named after the 6-time NBA MVP and number 2 on the all-time scoring list, given to the player who best embodies Abdul-Jabbar's message of civil rights, black empowerment, and racial equality. Curry is a 4-time NBA champion, 2-time MVP, was selected based on his work advocating for voting rights, gender and racial equity in sports, and food scarcity in underserved communities. So Steph Curry going home with a little more hardware. The Bucks are going to meet with Nick Nurse, Kenny Atkinson, and Adrian Griffin. So he's Nick Nurse, wanted man right now. What are the Pistons doing? What are they doing? Where's the juice around their coaching search? Why do I feel like we don't have really a plan in place? Are we that franchise that, we got to wait for the dust to settle and for everybody else to kind of pick their spots before we get a shot at anybody? It's not looking good. Not looking good at all, considering we are going into year number 4 of the Troy Weaver experience. He made a mistake. The Stars back Ben after a costly ejection. We'll get into Jamie Benn's malicious and violent play there in last night's game. This isn't just he made a mistake. It is far worse than that. Marcus Rosemy-Jacksaint whatever the name is. He is the 4th Georgia player in a driving-related arrest. So this individual is in Pompano Beach, Florida, posted $2,000 bond and was released within an hour after being charged with a pair of misdemeanors.
LJ Scott, their driving instructor down there?
My God, what is going on? Remember that Jalen Carter, the first-round pick, pleaded no contest to misdemeanor charges of reckless driving and racing. First off, racing shouldn't be a misdemeanor. It shouldn't be. Like, these people on the highway, like, what are you guys doing? Like, we're trying to get from point A to point B. You're driving like an idiot. You're putting everybody at risk because you want to try to do 100. Like, they just come down harder on it. Why are we just letting them walk out $2,000 bond? Like, no, this is the 4th driving-related arrest in Georgia. Like, what is happening here? Kirby Smart, get it under control.
You know what they should do for Georgia's next bowl game?
Get them Dodge Chargers?
No, for the swag bags. Hey, y'all got bus passes, Uber gift cards.
Take this, idiots.
Well, that's a lot to do with NIL, too, because they got cars now.
Ooh, they got cars.
Get them a deal with Uber. Hey, you get $5,000 free dollars in your Uber account.
It's ridiculous. Ohio State has hired ex-NFL coach Joe Philbin to be an analyst, whatever that means, an offensive analyst who knows what he'll be analyzing, but something to have to do with their offense. Mike Trout tied Joe DiMaggio on the home run list, saying, quote, "It means a lot. Last night's 4-0 win over the Red Sox, 361st home run of his career. Congratulations to Mike Trout." And they did it in a win, which usually never happens. Usually Shohei or Mike do something great, and then they lose like 6-1, but they actually won the game, so that's fun. And the Yankees, Garrett Cole's the third fastest pitcher to 2,000 strikeouts. Cole accomplished the feat 278 games behind only Randy Johnson with 262 games, and Clayton Kershaw did it in 277. We'll step aside, back with more X's and Bros after this here on the Michigan Sports Network.
Shop everything you need for Memorial Day with one stop at Meijer. Get buy one, get one free 80% lean ground beef. Buy 5, save $5 on Aunt Millie's Stadium buns, Coca-Cola or Pepsi 24-pack, plus deposit where applicable. Sweet Baby Ray's sauce and Lay's potato chips. Plus, have fun in the sun with 40% off the entire stock of swimwear for the family. Celebrate together and get the same prices online and in-store this week at Meijer. Exclusions apply. See all the deals in the Meijer app.
From planting a simple seed to managing a global food supply, growing, processing, and distributing food is the backbone of America. You deal with food safety and labor issues, cost control, and not to mention Mother Nature. But do you have time to explore research development and biotechnical tax credits? Properly administer payroll for temporary employees. Ensure that you're operating at your most profitable? That's where we come in. We're Bean Garter. And while your business is America's food supply, our business is helping you run your business better. We'll assist with tax credits, assess your processes and controls, and so much more. And while we may not be able to help you plant your crops, we can help you realize a rich financial harvest. From the family farm to worldwide distribution of all the things you grow, grow your business better. Experience service, expertise, and simplicity at Bean Garter. Find us online, beangarter.com. Bean Garter.
They say consistency is the key to success. They weren't wrong. So how about grabbing a beer that's consistently smooth, consistently refreshing, and consistently light? You might just find that the road to success can be pretty enjoyable. Michelob Ultra, the perfect balance of taste and refreshment, and only 2.6 carbs and 95 calories. It's only worth it if you enjoy it. Enjoy responsibly. Anheuser-Busch Michelob Ultra Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
You're listening to Michigan's statewide morning show, X's and Bros, right here on the Michigan Sports Network.
Welcome back here to X's and Bros, Michigan Sports Network. I forgot one little mention here in the headline, and it's something that folks might be interested from last night. The Lions are adding some experience on the O-line. NFL Network reporting that the Lions are signing Jermaine Ifedi, 28-year-old former first-round pick out of Texas A&M back in 2016. That his first 4 seasons with the Seahawks after going to pick number 31, then played a couple seasons for the Bears, most recently with the Falcons. Started 60 games while in Seattle, another 23 with the Bears inside the NFC North, so he's familiar with some of the opponents, which is good. Only played 8 offensive snaps last season, and it's not going to be easier to carve out any sort of role. Now, we do know that Frank Ragnow has an inoperable toe. That, to me, is very scary because I don't know. I've never heard of something that's being inoperable. We can't, especially like a toe. So that, we have a pretty defined group between Taylor Decker at left tackle, Penei Sewell at right tackle, your guards now being Glasgow and Jonah Jackson. You have Hal Vaitai in there as well. So you got a pretty good rotation of 6, and I moved Vaitai out just because, I want to see him actually be out there. But look, I mean, it's somebody that has experience. It's not a massive, deal here, but it is adding a little bit more of a veteran presence on the offensive line. And if there's one thing that we know for certain, based upon what happened last year, you're going to need an Evan Brown-esque sort of guy that has the ability that can move around a little bit, can play a couple of different positions, and can hold it down in the event of any sort of injury. Now, I didn't see easy, he was a big story. Hard Knocks. I don't know exactly what the, fascination is there with him, but they obviously, they have, they have some thoughts on what he could be. So it'll be interesting. It'll be interesting. Hopefully that front 5 could stay healthy, and then you add a little bit of depth, a little bit of variance there. And that is a good thing. All right, it's hour 2. It's segment 2. It's Will driving in Greenville or driving in West Michigan, wherever Will's listening to us at. He is always funny. Will, we got a good one for you today. It's time for Detroit Lions trivia. Random facts, stats, and information that Ryan and Dan have no idea. Just throw darts at the wall. They don't win anything if they get it correct. What, or I should say who, set a club record that has since been surpassed when he caught 325 passes for the Lions in the 1960s. Old school name here, too.
Dutch Clark.
That is incorrect. I'm sorry. Impossible question.
Old school name.
Old school name.
Leroy Jenkins.
Leroy. No, it is not Leroy Brown, the baddest
Dang
cat
it, Leroy.
in the whole damn town. Gail Cogdill is the correct answer. So for any of our listeners that have been around for a while, remember old Gail?
Anthony, you know the tale of Leroy Jenkins, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Also know the tale of Leroy Brown. Made a song about him. But Gail is Gail's an old school name. You don't see too many Gails. I was going to try to give you a hint and go with and try to pair it with Gail Sayers, but even Gail Cogdill, I have no idea. I mean, if you watched between the 1960 and 1968, you remember that name, and then we're glad to bring you back in time a little bit here on the program. For the rest of us, we learned something new today, which is good. Hey, by the way, tried to stop by Freddy's last night. I was like, we're just going to pull in here real quick. I'm going to go up to the side. He knows who I am. I'll just walk in the side door. Place was locked up, closed, lights were off. Oh, Freddy.
You got to go for lunch.
Well, yeah. It was way after lunch. What voting rights is Steph Curry fighting for? If a person is an American citizen with an ID and is registered to vote, they can vote. That is correct, Will. That is correct. This is all very true. You're not getting a debate from me there, partner. No complaint from me. All right, so let's get into what happened last night. Western Conference Finals. And what we have here, folks, we have a repeat offender. A repeat offender. His name is Jamie Benn. He plays for the Dallas Stars. And if you look, back in time, the Wing Wheel podcast, love those guys. They went and found the clip of Jamie Benn as Dylan Larkin's trying to get up Jamie Benn, cross-checking him in the back of the neck. Now, a lot of people are like, oh, I didn't see anything there. Dude, you never been cross-checked in the back of the head. So whether it looks bad or it looks vicious or it is vicious, like, you can't use your stick as a weapon. I don't know how many times I need to say this on this program. But what took place last night with Jamie Benn as a repeat offender, puck's moving up the left side. He upends the Vegas Golden Knights player and then proceeds, after he has fished the puck up the left side board, the Vegas player's coming in. And he uses his upper body to the Vegas player's head and knocks him off his skates. All right, it's a little high. You're not going to get anything. I'm not mad about that. That is what it is. Vegas player goes down, yard sale, stick goes flying. Ben then looks down at him, and the player is looking up, like with his hand up, like saying, oh no, please don't do this. And Jamie Benn comes in and cross-checks him as the player is down in the side of the neck, going for the face. Cross-checks him and then rides his head into the ground. So he upends him, left hand comes across the face, goes down, cross-check in the neck. Jamie Benn does that.
Yeah, when I had flipped to the basketball game when this happened, and then I flipped back, and they're talking about it, and I was like, I have to go see what this was, and the first 3 seconds, I'm like, oh, that's not that bad. Yeah, he face washed the guy. That shouldn't be really. 2 minutes, sure, and then it goes on, and the rest of the penalty begins, and I'm like, oh, that's what they were talking about.
It's Mark Stone. It's captain on captain here. And Vegas is up 1-0 at this time. Right? And a disastrous start to Game 3 of the Western Conference Finals. A 4-0 loss, 3-0 series deficit. And that's when the Stars captain, Jamie Benn, gets ejected a minute 53 into the game. Minute 53. Golden Knights are up 1-0 on Marchessault's goal. We're just 1:11 into the game. Here's the deal. NHL Rule 59 says a cross-checking match penalty can be assessed if the referee believes a player, quote, attempted to or deliberately injured his opponent by cross-checking. I don't know what else you need to see from this play to be able to come to a conclusion that this guy, it's just going to be the next game because it's going to be a sweep. Now I was rooting for the Vegas Golden Knights. I don't really like their uniforms, but I was rooting for them. Now I don't want the Stars. I want this over next game. Just end it, sweep them, get them out of here. Then go to the podium and talk all the mess you want about Jamie Benn. Guy's a sleazeball. I don't know why this continues to be allowed, but I'm going to say rest of the playoffs, which is only one game. And at minimum, a quarter of the season next year. Minimum, 20 games. Minimum, bare minimum. Because I am a person that hockey can, rule itself out there. The rules of the game, everybody, what's going on, and you know what you have coming if you commit a play that the other team deems as a cheap shot, right? It polices itself. But at some point, the NHL is going to have to step in here and say, we are not going to allow this anymore. We'll pick this up on the other side. X's and Bros, Michigan Sports Network.
Imagine this, a day filled with indulgence, bursting with excitement, and packed with extraordinary moments that build memories to last a lifetime. A day that is unmistakably yours, at the place that is undeniably spectacular. Whether you're winning big dining lavishly, or relaxing oh so comfortably. It's your getaway reimagined at Soaring Eagle Casino and Resort.
Shop everything you need for Memorial Day with one stop at Meijer. Get buy one, get one free 80% lean ground beef. Buy 5, save $5 on Aunt Millie's Stadium Buns, Coca-Cola or Pepsi 24-pack, plus deposit where applicable. Sweet Baby Ray's sauce and Lay's potato chips. Plus, have fun in the sun with 40% off the entire stock of swimwear for the family. Celebrate together and get the same prices online and in-store this week at Meijer. Exclusions apply. See all the deals in the Meijer app.
Huge here for my good friend Tom Rosenbach and his team at Bean Carter. They're one of America's top accounting and business firms. They're based in downtown Grand Rapids, and now they're stronger than ever before with their new partnership with Dorn Mayhew. Now, Dorn Mayhew is an east side firm. Now you get the west side of Michigan with Bean Carter, and whether you're a small business or big business, they can handle all of your accounting and business needs at Bean Carter. Just go to beancarter.com. That is BEENEGARTER.com. And I mentioned with their new partnership with Dorn Mayhew, they cover all of Michigan, the Midwest, and coast to coast. Find out how the pros at Bean Carter can help your business today. Go to beancarter.com. That is BEENEGARTER.com. And I know Tom Rosenbach and his team are so happy about their new partnership with Dorn Mayhew.
Share your thoughts all morning long on the Meyer guest line. Call 248-951-2176. That's 248-951-2176. Now, back to Danny, Ryan, and AB.
Welcome back here to X's and Bros, Michigan Sports Network. Great to have you riding along with us, no matter who you are, where you are, how you may be listening, all across the great state of Michigan. Great times for golf. Oh, my goodness. Hit the links and call my buddy Matt Golden. Call him and tell him that we sent you. 1-800-972-4837. That's his personal line. 1-800-972-4837. Call and ask for Matt Golden right now at Tullymore Golf Resort in Canadian Lakes, offering not one but two championship courses, Tullymore and St. Ives. They're located about 7 minutes from each other. They have a shuttle bus that'll take you from point A to point B. You can stay right there on the grounds at Tullymore because it's not only great golf, it's got great accommodations. It's got all the lodging. It's got delicious meals. It's got a beautiful clubhouse and a halfway house. Love a good halfway house. Right? You can't get all the way to the clubhouse, so you just stop at the halfway house. They got the super glizzies there, the hamburger, hot dogs. You're going to love it. Visit TullymoreGolf.com, TullymoreGolf.com. Book your stay and play at Tullymore today. A late night twilight round. Last night, tried to stop at Freddy's, get a pizza.
Yeah, I saw where you were playing. Come on, you can brag a little bit. I know it's your uncle, but he got you out there. It's pretty cool.
Well, I was like, hey, let's go to Freddy's to get a pizza. And I was like, well, we could pop over to Lions practice, too. And he's like, what do we do? I said, we just drive around. Just pull in. He's like, what? You have a badge on you? I don't need a badge. I'd be like, yo, JG. Golf look over at me, and I just walk right in. Watch practice. Say hi to all of our media friends out there. You know, Russell's out there, Eric, Jeremy, the whole gang.
I thought you were there already yesterday anyway with Sheila.
Well, after our AM radio discussion, she's like, you know what? You're right. Give us our 20% back, and we'll stick with it. I said, thank you, Mrs. Ford. I appreciate you. And so yeah, I just was like, whatever. We'll skip it. No pizza, no camp, no nothing. At that point, it was just gotta get home. Didn't play too bad yesterday. Then Freddie was like, did you hit the green on the water hole? I'm like, I didn't know there were swamps in Dearborn. What do you mean?
Are you talking about the par 3? Was he talking about the par 3 where you're like up on the hill?
I don't know what he was talking about. I didn't know if he was talking about the par 3 or the par 4. That is, so we had to play the back nine first. So I'm all misconstrued here and trying to figure it out. But it's a par 4, dog legs right. There's a pond all the way up the right side. You could cut it. You could. If you could pick a landing spot and hit your ball. You know, I hit my 3-wood off the tee a couple times. It was good. Hit one really good drive off of one that was awesome. You know, a little wedge into the green behind the flag stick, missed the birdie, no big deal. Follow that up with a double. You know, it's golf. What are you gonna do? It's golf. So we went out there. We had a good time though. It was fun. But no training camp, no pizza. Oh, Freddie's on hold, Mister. I'm gonna close my doors early so that you can't have a pizza. We're desperate need of a pizza too. Oh, that would have cured a lot of things for that car ride home. Good morning, Freddie. How are you, my friend?
Well, first of all, I didn't close early. I closed on time. And second
You
of
were
all,
turning customers away. I was in the parking lot after the lights were off and everything was closed. The door was like, what do you mean I can't get a pizza?
now I'm going to embarrass my 13-year-old because I'm actually calling you with her in the car. she won't let me talk to her when I get in a school line now. She won't let me talk to her.
Oh, we're at that
let me
age.
play any music. Yeah, just in case I open the door and they hear Anthony talk, and she don't want to be embarrassed by all the other kids at 13 years old. You know, so
Yeah,
you
it's a
have to
tough
keep it on the
age.
down low.
God bless you. That's
that's
a tough age.
You said something that triggered. I tuned in late this morning. It's been kind of a rough morning. So you just said, so I just got in the car. I tuned in, and you said your uncle says, you don't need a badge. So, of course, you triggered me. I had to call in. Since when does Rory need a badge to get in?
Well, that's
Rory
the thing. I was driving, right? So that my uncle and his buddy, and they're like, and his buddy looks at me and goes, you don't drink when you play, do you? And I was like, I'll have a couple, but I'm not going to come out here and like drink because my game will go to hell in a handbasket. And he's like, okay, all right, that's good. You could drive home. I said, all right, that's fine. So like they're feeling good at that point. And I reach back and I grab the mascot head and I put it on while I'm driving. And they're like, oh my God. I said, yeah, you didn't know I'm the mascot too? Like, let's pull in. So it's just me in a polo, right? I got a Purple polo and black shorts and the Rory head on. Dan, let me right in. Let me right in. Drove right through the gates.
The only two people that don't need a badge to get in is Rory and Theo. Theo who sings that stupid song after a touchdown when they're down 60 points.
It's not a stupid song. It's called Gridiron Heroes, and it's our fight song, Freddie. What high school did you go to?
I went to Fortson. I went where the Jets head coach went to school.
He's a
Home
tractor.
of the Tractors, right?
Yeah, Fortson Tractors.
The Fortson Tractors. And you mean to tell me if your high school football team was down, the band would just get up and walk out? They just quit?
Listen, if Fortson was down 60 points, I guarantee you they're not singing that stupid fight song. They're throwing stuff from the stands and going crazy.
I can't hear you, Freddie. I can't hear you because Theo.
So let me shut up. All right, let me touch on two more things before I'm going to shock you. I'm going to really shock you when I tell you this. I mean, you might hang up on me when I tell you. You're really shocked. Okay, so Nikola Jokic, the player for the Denver Nuggets, right?
Mm-hmm.
I've never seen him play. Now, Denver Nuggets. I mean, when you watch Denver Nuggets, I've never seen the guy play basketball. So I'm really looking to watch to see him playing in the finals. Did you see that celebration with his family after the game when they won the Western Conference Finals? His brothers and his wife. Wasn't that cool?
That was great. I mean, that's a
total European.
Did you? Yeah. Well, did you know that their his oldest brother is like an undefeated mixed martial artist?
Oh wow.
Yeah. So when there was a little kerfluffle between him and the Morris twins, his brothers started showing up to games and sitting courtside.
Which is when the Morris twins were at the Miami Heat. And that's when Miami met them at the locker room. So people wondering about ratings of this NBA Finals, this might be put on ESPN pay-per-view with UFC 280 whatever.
Are they Serbian or Macedonian? What are they?
Serbian.
Serbia. Yeah,
He's from Sombor, Serbia, which is northwest of like Novi Sad, which is northwest, like a straight diagonal line up to the left from Belgrade.
Yeah, you don't want to mess with their breed. Heck no, I'll tell you that right now. They're tough, and I'm excited. I'm excited to see him play basketball because I hear so much about him. I've never seen him play basketball, and I saw the video the other day, and I thought, man, how cool that. So I liked it, and the way they were kicking Jack Nicholson out of the stadium. I thought that was funny too. So last thing. I know Dan brought it up. You could brag a little bit where you golfed yesterday because, where you golfed yesterday, the great Raymond Floyd won a championship. Chichi Rodriguez, Tom Watson played there.
Hale Irwin played there. Jack
Hale Irwin. I was there when Raymond Floyd won. Raymond Floyd won, and the Bruce Matthews. I don't know if it's Bruce Matthews or the caddy for Tom Watson. He used to smoke the cigarettes. He passed away of cancer. He was a well-known caddy. I can't think of his name right now, but I stood right next to him. We talk about Tom Watson. And that's how cool it was back in the day. You could literally get right next to these people. Anyways, my 13-year-old's kicking me off the phone and brag a little bit about where you golfed yesterday. See you, Anthony.
All right, we'll see it. There goes Freddie. I really liked about Hole 11 there at TPC Michigan was that there is a giant creek in the middle of Hole 11 that runs with the actual fairways. You can either hit it left and be in the fairway, or you can hit it right. And if you go left, then you got to go back over the creek to get to the green, because the creek goes right down the middle of the hole and splits the fairway into two. And so well, you got to aim here. They're telling me. I said, I'm going to aim right at that bridge right in the creek. They're like, what? I was like, yeah. So if I spray it a little right, I'll be okay. And if I hook it a little left, I'll be okay. It sure as hell. I hooked it a little left, and I was okay. I was like, I like this. They put the hazards in the middle. I like that. It's my kind of course right there. But relatively long and relatively challenging. Really nice greens. Very soft that you could spin it, you could stick it. Like, it was great. but very fast. And that's, as Dan will tell you, that is the sign of a good course. When the ball will hold the green, but they're still lightning quick, like it's a good sign. It's a good sign.
It's an awesome course. I'm glad you got. I mean, how many times have you played it? I've probably played it 3 times. Not since high school though.
I've only eaten there.
Oh,
so
okay.
That was my first time on the actual course. I've eaten there, and then I've hosted an event there. But outside of that,
we played. That was our. I don't know if it was our district. It might have been just like the Wayne County tournament or something was played there every year.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, it was pretty cool.
That is very nice.
The downhill par 3, I thought I was pulling 9 iron, and I pulled 6 iron, and I put it onto the fairway above the green. It made for an interesting hole.
That's why I put that little line under it. You know what I mean?
Well, yeah, I know.
You didn't look down and go, "Wow, this 9 iron is not very
I
lofted."
was clearly not in the zone at that moment.
That's all right. Sometimes you got to get in the zone. Will also appreciates your bumper music there. So
yeah, I'll bring some of the old stuff back for him on the 817 if he wants.
I think we should have a metal Monday. Just play all metal music on Mondays.
That'd be cool.
Yeah, just make them theme days. You know what I mean? All right. So real quick, I wanted to just kind of cap things off here with this assault that took place in that Golden Knights Stars game last night, because it's just especially when you have a repeat offender like Jamie Benn has been in the past. I think this is a time where the NHL can really step forward and say, you know what, this is an egregious shot. You guys aren't making a ton of money anyways, so if you had to sit out 20 games, like that's a massive hit to the wallet. And there's cross-checking. It happens nonstop. They never call it, especially in front of the net. They shouldn't even allow that, in my opinion. Like, you should not be able to chop somebody's lower back or their forearms with your stick and have it not be called. So I feel like this is a good opportunity for the league to step in, especially in a moment that is very big, being the conference finals, and lay this one to rest. Be good. Dallas Stars already lost 4-0 in the game. They're down 3-0 overall in the series.
Well,
they're about to get swept.
Did you see what happened at the end of the second period?
What happened at the end of the second period?
Oh, you didn't see this?
No.
Oh, so the Stars fans were getting too upset. It was a 4-0 game.
Mm-hmm.
They started throwing garbage on the ice.
Well, for their garbage captain.
Yeah, so they started throwing trash there. The refs called the period. Said, teams go in the locker room. Second period's over.
How much time was left?
21 seconds.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, like enough to where they're just like, we're not making this up. It's not worth spending the 10 minutes cleaning this up if we're already going to spend the next 20. So,
yep.
It's intermission.
And then you hit them with a penalty coming right out of the gate.
Yeah, they did that as well.
Yep.
So
there you go. You dummies. You big dummies. You can't throw stuff on the ice unless it's a hat trick. And then, we actually encourage that. So it was and Ben didn't speak to the media after the game either. So good for you. Wait, that's pretty tough. As Frank Gargano, our good buddy, tweeted in, like that's pretty tough to kind of explain why you wear the C to take such a bonehead penalty like that in a game of that magnitude as well. And I stand by it. I'm tough on crime. John Morant, you can get at least 41 games. At least. I think they should give him a season. And part of that's just based on pure stupidity. Like, you're going to be that dumb, I want to give you half a season. Think about it. Right? Maybe make more videos so that we can just get rid of you altogether. We never have to hear about you ever again.
See, that'd be your one lasting legacy, is just that, oh, this person got charged with a felony of stupidity. So, 20 years.
Felonious stupidity.
That's a misdemeanor stupidity.
Those Georgia players, done. Like, that's it. Like, because we're our leniency, there's nothing wrong with a little discipline. Our leniency is creating a society and culture of lawlessness. And like I said, I'm tough on crime. You vote for me. Whatever I decide to do, president or governor, whatever the case may be, there's not going to be If you don't know how to behave, the league will teach you how to behave. And this is a good opportunity for the Department of Player Safety to put their foot down, say, if you can't handle playing the game of hockey, we'll handle this for you. And this is how it's going to go. And there you have it. It'd be tough on it, and that way the next guy will be like, wow, they can debate it, and they could say, that's not fair. I want to appeal, blase, we need a third independent, whatever. That's fine. That's fine. You want to bring a third guy in there? Let's up it to half a season, and then they can bring it down to 20 games. There you go. And I'm telling you, man, as the commissioner of these leagues, like, yo, you're going to act like a professional. Off the floor and on the floor. Plain and simple. Not going to be any of the shenanigans. Like Jameson Williams didn't cross-check a guy in the side of the neck and basically got a third of the season. Just saying. Jameson Williams did something that's like basically, not even betting on the NFL. So in the grand scheme of things, completely harmless. Doing something that anybody else can do. Guess what? It's against league rules. It's against league policy. So it doesn't matter if your local representative does an ad for FanDuel. You get where I'm going with this? It's the same principle in theory with John Morant. Well, look at these politicians with their guns. Well, guess what? There's nothing to say that they can't have them. That's not against the rules or their code of conduct that you sign on to be a part of this league. So stop with that argument. It's ridiculous. You guys signed the paperwork. You don't have to play there. Go get a regular job. And then you can go wave your guns around wherever and whenever you want. What do I care? You can go gamble on whatever sport you want. But guess what? As a part of this league, that's against the rules. As a part of this league, you're not going to cross-check people in the neck. It shouldn't be that hard. All Metal Mondays, I'll be tuned in. Shep and KC. He didn't really say that. Is Shep listening right now?
No, it's Freddie.
How do you know? That might be Matt Shepard. He might be listening to us this morning.
Because it's the same phone number that texts
Shep
us.
and Freddie have the same number? Oh, my God. How could that happen? All right, we're going to get into the hoops action last night. I got a feeling Celtics team, whatever you saw last night, that's going to dissipate. And I got a feeling the Celtics team is going to look a whole lot different next season. We'll talk about the conference finals next. Speaking of conference finals, get in on that action over at the DraftKings Sportsbook. A lot of action here. An official sports city partner of the association. Get on the excitement of the Eastern Conference Finals with a touch of a button. New customers can make $5 pregame moneyline bet, score $150 in bonus bets if your team wins, plus everyone can score the no-sweat same-game parlay every day during the NBA playoffs. Open up the DraftKings Sportsbook app, opt in, place the same-game parlay on any NBA game. If it doesn't hit, you get a bonus bet back up to $10. New customers, download the DraftKings Sportsbook app, sign up using the promo code HUGE, promo code HUGE only at DraftKings. Now, if you or somebody knows a gambling problem, wants help, needs help, call the Michigan Department of Health and Human Services Gambling Disorder Helpline. 800-270-7117, 21 plus, Michigan only. Bonus bets expire 7 days after issuance. Opt-in is required, folks. One bonus bet issued based on the amount of the initial losing NBA bet. Eligibility, wagering, deposit restrictions to apply. See terms at sportsbook.draftkings.com/basketball terms. Back with more after this. X's and Bros, Michigan Sports Network.
In the den.
Hey, sports fans, here's a hanging curveball that you can knock out of the ballpark. This is Matt Shepard, the voice of Detroit baseball, inviting you to step up to the plate at Eagle Casino and Sports, the mobile sports book where you can bet on all your favorites all year round, including, of course, our national pastime. So download the app and start winning today. Eagle Casino and Sports, made in Michigan, made for Michigan. Must be 21 years or older and in Michigan to play. For various reasons, anytime the Tigers battle the Royals, it reminds me of 1984 when the Tigers swept Kansas City in the ALCS. On this date, May 24th, that season, Detroit completed a sweep of the Angels on the road, improving their record to an unheard of 35-5 to start the year. It remains the best 40-game start in Major League Baseball history. In addition to that, the win signaled a 17th straight road win to begin the season. Think about that for a moment. The baseball world can't say enough of Tampa's start this year, and it took them 49 games to reach 35 wins. And by the way, they have just 13 road wins so far this season. 1984, magical and historic.
At Mercantile Bank, we believe in empowering the communities we serve, and that financially strong individuals and families are vital for building strong communities. That's why we're committed to providing budgeting tools and interactive resources designed to help you take charge of your finances. Our friendly staff is always here to help answer questions and provide solutions to help you reach your goals. Call, stop in, or visit us online at mercbank.com to learn more. And let's help you make today count. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
For a lot of us, music and mental health are intertwined. That's why the Collaborative Lab created In Tune, a free live stream event, and you're invited. May 18th is Mental Health Action Day, so take action for your own mental health by joining us from 7 to 9 p.m. Musical performances and conversations with the Verve Pipe, Br0's, Carlos Sese, Cole Hansen, and more. Visit IUnderstandLoveHeals.org to learn how you can join the party for free.
Huge here for my good friend Tom Rosenbach and his team at Bean Carter. They're one of America's top accounting and business firms. They're based in downtown Grand Rapids, and now they're stronger than ever before with their new partnership with Dorn Mayhew. Now, Dorn Mayhew is an east side firm. Now you get the west side of Michigan with Bean Carter, and whether you're a small business or big business, they can handle all of your accounting and business needs at Bean Carter. Just go to beancarter.com. That is BEENEGARTER.com. And I mentioned with their new partnership with Dorn Mayhew, they cover all of Michigan, the Midwest, and coast to coast. Find out how the pros at Bean Carter can help your business today. Go to beancarter.com. That is BEENEGARTER.com. And I know Tom Rosenbach and his team are so happy about their new partnership with Dorn Mayhew.
It's time for Michigan Sports Talk Morning Show, broadcasting live all across the state of Michigan and Northwest Ohio. This is X's and Bros.
Swings it out to Sadiq Bey. Gets Benny B to to Abdul-Rahman at midcourt. Extra pass. And it goes for the win. The three-pointer by Jordan Poole. Here's the give. Walker. Kenneth Walker. Touchdown. Spotty. Goff's got it. Back. Looks. Throws. Ends up. Yes. Caught. Touchdown. Detroit Lions. They did it. Amon-Ra St. Brown in the receiving end.
Sends one to deep left center field. Back it goes, and that ball's out of here. A grand slam from Miguel Cabrera. He's got 2 goals. Larkin in on goal. Scores! His first career hat trick in his 7th season for Dylan Larkin.
Here's your host, Anthony Bellino.
Rise and shine, folks. Welcome back here on this Wednesday. It's Hump Day, the 24th day of May, 2023. Great to have you ride along with us, no matter who you are, where you are, how you may be listening, all across the great state of Michigan and in Northwest Ohio and worldwide on the iHeartRadio app. So great to be with you. We say good morning to you. We welcome you. We thank you. We appreciate you. And, of course, we encourage you. Join the program at any time. Text the keyword sports radio. Send that to 21,000 sports radio to 21000. Meyer Supercenter guest line 248-951-2176, 248-951-2176. We're on Twitter at XB Mornings, Facebook, X's and Bros, and, of course, good morning to our television audience as well on BCSN and streaming on our YouTube page at Michigan Sports Network. Find our podcast. Listen back to anything you might have missed on demand by visiting Google, Apple, Spotify, and, of course, the iHeartRadio app. MichiganSportsNetwork.com, like I said, is the website. xbmornings@gmail.com is our fan feedback email inbox. You can find us all in the Twitterverse. Danny Cahalan is at Dan in the studio. Ryan Elke is at RyanL_Key. I'm Anthony Bellino at AC Bellino. Freddie is the Nickelback of Detroit sports takes. But if he's advocating for Metal Monday, then I might not be able to criticize his takes ever again. Will, currently doing siding in Greenville. Hey, man, like, look, I think Metal Monday's a good idea. I like metal music. You know, nothing better than listening to a little, I don't know. What would be your top 3 metal bands of all time?
Oh, like are you talking historically or mine?
Your personal, like, all right, so let's say, you know, your shoulder's in good shape and you know you're picking up 45-pound plates. You're getting ready to pick them up and put them down. What's going to be going on in your headphones?
Probably not metal, but I mean,
Oh, really?
No, I mean, I don't mind metal. Iron Maiden. No, I listen to like some Bowie, AC/DC. I can send you my workout playlist.
Steel Panther.
Ryan, what do you have? You know, you're throwing on what do they call the headgear? You're putting on the headgear and you're getting ready to grapple with somebody. What are you?
Linkin Park was always top of the playlist for me before wrestling matches.
Linkin Park, okay,
Yeah.
all right.
Linkin Park, "Bleed It Out" was the last song played in the headphones every time. So they were number 1. Steel Panther, jokingly, will be number 2. I don't know if you ever listened to them.
I have not, no.
Oh.
They're hilarious.
Yeah. Not even close to appropriate for FCC airwaves.
Good to know.
So
will not be Googling them.
Yeah. Then I'd say probably some AC/DC was in my head, on my iPod as well.
Okay. AC/DC classic.
Yeah.
Classic.
They're probably the most listened to, like, classic rock band for me.
So, yeah, I'm gonna go Metallica. Definitely Metallica. Godsmack for sure. Always makes me want to join a motorcycle gang for about 45 minutes. You know, might hop on with like the Iron Coffins or somebody. And although I would never, I can't get on a motorcycle. Like I can do, like I've ridden dirt bikes, but no, I'm not trading 4 wheels and doors and seat belts to get on the highway and ride a motorcycle. Just not me. If it's for you, it's for you. If you're blaring us on a Harley right now, God bless you. Who would be number 3 for me? I should go into my workout playlist and just see who would be the top 3.
This is not what people would consider metal now, but Black Sabbath is my number 1 by far.
Interesting. Black Sabbath? Okay. I might do a little Slipknot or System of a Down. One of those two.
I love System of a Down.
I like
Steal
that,
This album is one of my favorite albums ever.
I like that. What's it called? Speed metal?
Yeah.
Yeah, I do kind of like that. Like the high intensity, very loud, very just getting after it. Like I do enjoy that. There's nothing wrong with listening to a little speed metal on your way to the golf course. See, that's how you do the little neck thing there. You shrug the shoulders a little bit, get out the big stick. Where are we going? Nobody knows. Keep an eye on it for me, would you? Swing as hard as you can. I think that's good. But most of the time, like on the golf course, like this is the drastic and very eclectic collection of music I listen to. There's a station on satellite radio called Watercolors. You ever heard of it?
Heard of what? Sorry, I was answering the phone.
It's called Watercolors. Have you ever heard that station on satellite radio?
No, I do have satellite radio, but I've not come across that one.
All right, it's channel 66. Throw it on your ride home. Doesn't matter what song's on because it's going to give you. Think of it like dentist office music. I find that very relaxing while playing golf.
Funny you mentioned that because the Bally, we must have got some new janitorial staff. And they changed to whatever the cleaner it is that they use in dentist offices, and it feels like you're walking into a dentist office now.
That's good.
At Valley, it's that scent.
Oh yeah, cleanliness is next to godliness. If you got time to lean, you got time to clean. Now, what's going on in the sports world? We'll try to get you all caught up real quick right now in the headlines.
Big news.
I have a little news flash.
Let's check the headlines.
Nah, it's real news for once.
The biggest stories of the local, regional, and national news.
This is huge news.
NFL Network is reporting the Detroit Lions adding a little depth on the offensive line. 28-year-old Jermaine Ifedi, the former first-round pick out of Texas A&M back in 2016. Spent 4 seasons with the Seahawks. Played 2 for the Bears, most recently with the Falcons. Only played 8 offensive snaps for the Falcons this past year. So we're not looking at somebody that might be coming in and is a big-time name or going to come in and take a starting spot. But we definitely need some depth and versatility there on the offensive line, so I'm good with it. Garrett Cole. How about Garrett Cole? The New York Yankees ace, recorded his 2,000th career strikeout in the second inning of last night's game, becoming the 3rd fastest pitcher in games played to reach that mark of 2,000 strikeouts. Congratulations, Garrett Cole. He did it in 278, only behind Randy Johnson, who did it in 262 games, and Clayton Kershaw with 277. So Cole became the 88th pitcher in MLB history to accomplish the feat. Cole ranks 7th in career strikeouts behind guys like Max Scherzer, Justin Verlander, Zach Greinke, Kershaw, Adam Wainwright. Sale's on that list as well. So good for Garrett Cole in the New York Yankees. Mike Trout did something too, and they actually won the game. Mike Trout hit a home run in last night's 4-0 win over the Boston Red Sox, his 361st home run of his career, which ties him with the Hall of Famer Joe DiMaggio for 85th on the all-time list. Wow. But, those numbers get real muddled there. So once you start to get into that range, he could be doing this like every other day, passing somebody. Ohio State has hired ex-NFL coach Joe Philbin to be an offensive analyst on their staff. So that's kind of interesting there. Georgia senior wide receiver Marcus Rosemy-Jacksaint was arrested and charged with reckless driving and speeding by Athens Clark County Police yesterday, marking the 4th driving-related arrest by the Bulldogs and their football team in the offseason. Remember, Jalen Carter was the big name there because his led to the death of 2 staffers. He made a mistake, according to the Stars, backing their captain, Jamie Benn, with an egregious cross-check to the neck of Captain Mark Stone. And I think he should be suspended for 20 games next season at minimum. Teach this man a lesson. He is the same one that cross-checked Dylan Larkin in the back of the neck as Larkin was trying to get up from the ice. The Milwaukee Bucks are going to meet with Nick Nurse and Kenny Atkinson as well as Adrian Griffin for their head coaching vacancy. That's kind of interesting because everyone seems to have interviews. Doc Rivers and Nick Nurse are in the Final Four to interview for the Suns job. Who are the Pistons going to interview? Who's our guy? Somebody tell me. Please. Step aside. We'll be back with more X's and Bros here on the Michigan Sports Network.
They say consistency is the key to success. They weren't wrong. So how about grabbing a beer that's consistently smooth, consistently refreshing, and consistently light? You might just find that the road to success can be pretty enjoyable. Michelob Ultra, the perfect balance of taste and refreshment, and only 2.6 carbs and 95 calories. It's only worth it if you enjoy it. Enjoy responsibly. Anheuser-Busch Michelob Ultra Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
Shop everything you need for Memorial Day with one stop at Meijer. Get buy one, get one free 80% lean ground beef. Buy 5, save $5 on Aunt Millie's Stadium Buns, Coca-Cola or Pepsi 24-pack, plus deposit where applicable. Sweet Baby Ray's sauce and Lay's potato chips. Plus, have fun in the sun with 40% off the entire stock of swimwear for the family. Celebrate together and get the same prices online and in-store this week at Meijer. Exclusions apply. See all the deals in the Meijer app.
Imagine this, a day filled with indulgence, bursting with excitement, and packed with extraordinary moments that build memories to last a lifetime. A day that is unmistakably yours, at the place that is undeniably spectacular. Whether you're winning big, dining lavishly, or relaxing oh so comfortably, it's your getaway reimagined at Soaring Eagle Casino and Resort.
Huge here for all the Mr. Car Wash locations across Michigan. You're going to want to look into that unlimited monthly pass that I use. Superfly Hayes, my producer, uses it. I can get my SUV washed as often as I like for one low price. You can sign up today. Just go to MrCarWash.com or stop by your local Mr. Car Wash location here in Michigan for the one close to you. And to get that unlimited pass, go to MrCarWash.com.
From Traverse City to the Glass City, GR to the Motor City, you're listening to X's and Bros on the Michigan Sports Network.
Well, you know, folks, golf season's here. Matt Golden and his team ready to welcome you to one of the best golfing experiences in the great state of Michigan. It's called Tullymore Golf Resort. You hear me talk about them all the time here on the program. It's in Canadian Lakes, and it offers not one but two championship courses, Tullymore and St. Ives, located about 7 minutes away from each other. Don't worry, they got a shuttle bus taking you from point A to point B. It's an hour north of Grand Rapids, 30 minutes west of Mount Pleasant. Don't worry, the shuttle bus is not going to take you there. But it is located smack dab in the middle of the state, which means it's easy to get to no matter where you may live. TullymoreGolf.com is the website, TullymoreGolf.com, or call 1-800-972-4837. That's 1-800-972-4837. Book your stay and play at Tullymore today. Danny Cahalan, Ryan Elke, Anthony Bellino, all joining you. Thank you for joining us. You can text the keyword Sports Radio. Send that to 21,000, Sports Radio to 21000, or call us on the Myers Supercenter guest line, 248-951-2176, 248-951-2176. We've got some activity over there in the Myers Supercenter guest line. What do you got for me, Dan?
Dale in Muskegon.
Dale in Muskegon. What's going on, Dale?
Hey, good morning, fellas. You guys were talking music a few minutes ago, man. You listen to Pandora. Just type in "Bring Me the Horizon" music if you're not familiar, or Asking Alexandra or something like that. It's called Screamo. It's kind of like Blink 182 meets Slipknot. Ridiculous, man. Got me through some hard times in my life, some dark times. Music saved me, man. Them are some emotional heavy metal is what I call it. It's great. Tear-jerking heavy metal. It's amazing, man. Secondly, let's Tullymore. I hear you advertising. 2 weeks. Let's do Tullymore. I'm going to stay on you guys till you golf with me, man. So you think you guys can, or pick something. I think you guys are on the other side of the state of me. Pick something over where you're at, and I'll come to you. 2 weeks. I'm doing American Dunes this week.
Oh, man, I haven't played American Dunes yet. I heard that's awesome.
Dude, listen, it's like an emotional place where the only place where I ever felt like golf was not important. There's a fallen soldier on the beginning of every hole, a plaque with what happened in his battle, how he lost his life. Like, oh my gosh, man. You come off a hole and you're all bummed out, and then you see a plaque of a guy who gave his life so you could play this stupid game, and you're like, yeah.
Perspective, right?
Oh, dude, there's never been nothing like it. I played all over the United States, man, and I've never played anything that made me feel, I don't know what it is, important, proud of my country. It's all military, everybody there. They give you like a 10-minute speech before you tee off, the ranger does. Give you a nickel. There's an iron cross on the 17th hole, flag in the middle of 9 and 18, big, huge American flag. Every 3 hours, starting at like noon, they play taps and the Star Spangled Banner. Everybody stops golfing and salutes or puts their hand over there. It's beautiful. I'm down to play there again in 2 weeks if you guys want to go. Wherever you guys pick, I will meet you guys at, and we'll get out and play 18. I thought Tullymore because it's a sponsor, right?
Hey, Tullymore. Love me some Tullymore.
Me too. I played Tullymore and St. Ives last year and the year
Yeah,
before.
you got to play from like the Whites though. There's no reason to play all that madness.
No, I played from the Whites. That's where I play. I didn't get to play golf for like 3.5 months, man, because my back. I played last weekend. I shot 42 on the front, par was 35, and then 46 on the back. And I actually thought I played better on the back, believe it or not. I struck the ball better. My irons were kind of killing me a little bit. I didn't hit a lot of greens in regulation after the first few holes, but it was just nice to swing a club pain-free. Thank you, QC Kinetics, another sponsor. Hey, they absolutely, my back is still feeling 95% better, which 20 years of back pain gone in 2 treatments. So if you're listening out there, call QC Kinetics. It's working so far for me. And I will 100% keep you guys posted, like, as I go, if this stays, if it doesn't, just so you guys know, man. But as of right now, I couldn't be more happy. It's the best thing I ever tried.
I'm glad. We got to get QC Kinetics out there for Dylan Larkin. That's what we need. We got to get it. We got to get out there for Larkin. Boost his back. Dale of Muskegon, man. Appreciate the call. Thank you, my
Thanks,
friend.
guys. We'll get together and golf soon. See ya.
All right, partner. GB Ritz is on hold right now. Mr. Ritz Carlton himself. How are you, sir? How is the service up there in the penthouse suite, my friend?
Well, yesterday it wasn't very good. I lost
power for a couple hours, but not during your show, by the way. So I heard your show in the morning. It was in the afternoon that we had a electric outage here, just locally. Nothing major, but I am in agreement with your assessment of the cross-check heard and shown around the world last night. That was flagrant. It was with intent to injure. And it's a shame that the NHL has a mechanism in place that should be protecting its players and participants way better than what it's doing. And that's the NHL Player Safety Board. And they seem to just fall flat on their face when it comes time to nut up and get the job done, because they've let a loose cannon in Marchand run around the league for his entire career, and he's been an idiot 7 or 8 times, suspended multiple times, fined multiple times, and he's still playing the game. So I don't expect much to come from the Ben cross-check by the league. It's just what it is. It's a shame that it's going to be that way, but if he doesn't get 10 games, I'm going to be really surprised.
10?
Well, that's minimum. That's just minimum. I liked your numbers. I told you in a tweet I liked your numbers.
And I'm telling you this much, GB. I should be the dean of discipline of American pro sports. Like, I'm the third party. You send whatever case you got to me. You know, whether you got MLB guys with sticky fingers, you got these psychopaths with their hockey sticks in their hands, you got a fight that breaks out or gambling in the NFL, you got players waving guns in the NBA. You send them to me and I'll hand out the discipline. You just get the league right out of it. I'm tough on crime.
I agree with it 100%. I mean, I don't know if it's a combination. You know, the player safety is just, maybe their hands are tied by the NHLPA. The Players Association limits suspensions in some way, or financial retribution. I don't know the inner workings, what goes on in there, but it seems to me there's been enough incidents in the last couple of years that people are going, God, why isn't this suspension more? And first off, they don't get one to begin with, or it's a minimal slap on the wrist, 1 or 2 games for something that's really egregious, like last night. So,
and I'm no patsy, GB. I'm down with, you know, you want to throw hands. Go ahead and take care of business out there. It's a part of the game. Keep fighting alive in the NHL. It's how the league regulates and polices itself, and I'm totally fine with it. I'm just not okay with you using your stick as a weapon.
Absolutely. Well, look what happened. This is way before your time, but Will Paymont just took a baseball bat swing to Nick Polonich. And
who was it in the 90s that swung his stick and hit the guy in the head, and then he fell backwards and hit his head on the ice?
Do you
remember that?
I can't answer. I don't know. But I know that Marchand does a slew foot all the time, and when the player falls back, he did it to Cronwall a couple times. I mean, a player falling backwards when your skates are taken off underneath you, that's just as bad as getting cross-checked, in my mind. You hit your head on the ice from falling 6 feet in the air, yeah, that'll rock your boat a little bit. But, Anthony, you have a great day. Enjoy the cooler weather today if you're golfing, but have fun and keep it in the fairway.
All right, we're gonna try. Well, we do no fairways for us today. No, we have work, and then we have an event later on.
The next time you golf, keep it in the fairway. Talk to you later, my friend.
Thank you, partner. Good to see you. Thanks for coming by. Oh, my goodness. All right, let's see. We got CK in Maumee. He's on hold, but we're coming up against the break. So if CK wants to call right back or hang on the line, we'll get to CK's call on the other side. This is X's and Bros here on the Michigan Sports Network.
Imagine this, winning big at Soaring Eagle. Spin the money wheel and win up to $100,000 cash. Every Saturday in April from 5 to 11 p.m., one winner each hour will spin for the win and take home up to $100,000. Whirl in for $100,000 money wheel. Only at Soaring Eagle Casino and Resort. Your getaway reimagined. Visit SoaringEagleCasino.com for complete rules and details.
Huge here for my good friend Tom Rosenbach and his team at Bean Carter. They're one of America's top accounting and business firms. They're based in downtown Grand Rapids, and now they're stronger than ever before with their new partnership with Dorn Mayhew. Now, Dorn Mayhew is an east side firm. Now you get the west side of Michigan with Bean Carter, and whether you're a small business or big business, they can handle all of your accounting and business needs at Bean Carter. Just go to beancarter.com. That is BEENEGARTER.com. And I mentioned with their new partnership with Dorn Mayhew, they cover all of Michigan, the Midwest, and coast to coast. Find out how the pros at Bean Carter can help your business today. Go to beancarter.com. That is BEENEGARTER.com. And I know Tom Rosenbach and his team are so happy about their new partnership with Dorn Mayhew.
If you or your family is touched by autism, learn more about Freddy's Foundation at #PopTheTap at FreddyThePizzaman.com. That's FREDI, thepizzaman.com. Or email FreddyThePizzaman@gmail.com.
Share your thoughts all morning long on the Meyer Guest Line. Call 248-951-2176. That's 248-951-2176. Now, back to Danny, Ryan, and AB.
My playlist, Def Leppard, Kiss, Andrea Bocelli, and Alan Jackson. Wow. It's pretty eclectic. Megadeth, Pantera, or older, Black Sabbath, Deep Purple, Iron Maiden. Let's go! Will. And for my softer days, Pink Floyd, Elton John, Allman Brothers. Sorry to blow up the text line today, fellas. Thanks for the interaction. Hey, Will, you're out there working hard, man. We're here to just hang out with you. We're just going to do some siding with you. Why not? Is CK in, Mommy? Is he still on hold?
He is.
All right. And by the way, it's Marty McSorley on Donald Brashear back in 2000. That was the hit that I was referencing where he just swung his stick like a baseball bat, clipped Brashear in the side of the head. Brashear went down, hit his head on the ice. Brutal. CK, good morning to you, my friend. How are you, partner?
Good, AB. How are you?
Oh, living the dream. Living the dream. Let's go.
All right. I think it's going to take a little while for even if they start to call all the stick swinging and cross-checking, it's going to take a while, just like it did in the NBA for the hand checking. Hockey's the only sport I can think of where you use your equipment as a weapon. In football, they took away spearing, head-to-head hits. Like I said, in the NBA, you can't hand check anymore. I think they need to do the same thing in the NHL, and it's going to take a while for the guys to get used to it. But I watch the games, almost all the Red Wing games, and I just don't understand how you can use your stick chopping down on somebody, or they do call the broken stick now, and when it's obvious, they'll call that a slash. But you watch the NHL, and they're constantly using their stick to try to, get the puck away from somebody or in front of the net to move somebody out from in front of the net. They use, the stick as a cross check to move somebody out, or as Mickey calls the BC two-hander across the guy's wrist. I just don't understand why they allow it. It's the only sport I know of where you can use it. If a baseball player took his bat and swung it and hit somebody, you're looking at maybe permanent suspension.
Oh yeah,
but
you're catching a charge
it's
too.
legal. It's in hockey, it's legal, and it's the only sport that I can think of. Maybe lacrosse, they use the stick, try to get the ball away from somebody. But I don't understand how that's a learned behavior. It starts at the little kids level, and it's taught. And I think it's just going to take a while. I agree with you totally that it should be something major. And two-handers and cross-checks across the neck, you got to get it out of the game. And I agree with you. I think fighting's a big part of it. If I know that I'm 5'10", 190 pounds, and I go after the best player on the other team, and Bob Robert's on the bench.
You're going to have to answer the bell.
Exactly. The next time I'm on the ice, I'm going to be staring at this guy. And that's going to eliminate a lot of that, taking advantage of the best players on the other team. I don't know about you, but there's no way in hell I'm going to go out there and take on Bob Probert after I just smacked Stevie Yzerman, or if I'm Semenko comes off the bench when Gretzky's out there. That's not going to happen. I'm not doing that.
No,
and by taking fighting out of the game.
And that's why fighting is important. Like, they have to keep it in there because you have to be able. And my question for the Wings is, who's that guy? Like, who's the guy that is going to go out there and defend somebody? Like, who's the guy that's going to throw his hands a little bit when times get tough?
I think, was it Rick Tockett's on the bench?
It's like Mo Seider's a good player, and Mo Seider is a physical player. But Mo Seider, he's a collision player. He's going to hit you, but he's not. If the going gets tough, like Mo Seider, I'm not worried about him punching me.
He's more like a Cromwell type player.
It's exactly what
physical. He is. And he's not going to do that.
We need somebody that eats ribs with their fingers. Not a fork. We don't need any more fork and knife. Tuck the napkin in the top. We need somebody puts his hand in the dirt a little bit.
Absolutely. Like I said, I don't want to look over at the bench and see Bob Probert sitting on the bench. I'm not taking liberties with Steve Yzerman. There's no way.
No.
I'm going to answer for that. And you're right. The Wings have nobody like that. So maybe that's something that Stevie Eiserman has to address during the off season. And I don't want to goon. I don't want somebody that's sitting on the bench for the whole game and all of a sudden now we're going to pull him off. I want somebody who can actually skate and play like Probert could.
Yeah, and the goon has kind of disappeared because everybody, it's like in basketball with the big guys, right? Everybody's got to be able to dribble. Same thing with hockey. Like, everybody's got to be able to skate. They all have to be able to handle the puck. They all got to be able to shoot. They all got to be able to pass. They all have to be willing to sacrifice while they're out there and block shots. Like, the old school goon of the 80s and 90s, it's gone by the way of the dodo, right? I mean, they're just extinct because you can't have somebody on your active roster that can't contribute to the team outside of just punching people.
Absolutely. I agree with you. All right, thanks, AB. I appreciate the time.
CK, love you, man. Be good down there.
All right, buddy. Bye-bye.
Let's get to Danny in Brighton. Has a little NHL thought for you. Danny, good morning to you, my friend. How are you?
Nancy, I am amazing. How are you, my man?
I'm having the best day ever.
Best day ever. So one of my friends that I follow on Twitter, my buddy Greg Krupa, he always says the NHL is a poorly officiated league, which I agree. But what I find interesting is before, let's say, 5 years or so ago, you'd watch the playoffs, and the playoffs were a much, I'm going to call it a cleaner game where you just did not have this stuff happening because the stakes were too high. And I'm fascinated that it's happening now. Because,
well, they're down, they're down 2-0 in the series. They go down 1-0. He's frustrated. I get it. He lost his cool. But you can't lose your cool like that. You knocked him down to the ice, like, keep it moving. Like, what are you going to cross-check the guy in the side of the neck for while he's down on the ice? And you could tell when why is his name slipping me now? Stone. When Stone's down on the ice, he's looking up at Jamie Benn, and he puts his left hand up like, oh, no, don't do this. Like, you could see it in the reaction. And it's like, he knows it's coming.
And, it's because I think it was 1-0 at the time, right?
Yep.
With the game. So, you could easily, that's a big game because you could easily turn that around, win, get your home ice advantage back, and he does that boneheaded move instead. And that guy's the captain of the team.
Terrible.
It is. So, and one thing that your buddy CK was mentioning when you're talking about the wings, if when I recall, like, what put the Wings, over into the championship caliber was Brendan Shanahan, who was one of the best players on the team, but also he was nasty. He would stand up to anybody.
Mm-hmm.
And so on that team you had Kosar and Probert, but you also had Shanny, and Shanny literally was, I'll fight anybody, but I'm going to score 35 goals, and I'm as good as anybody on the team. And I think we even talked about this with the Wings season when they went into Ottawa, and Ottawa just, just bitch slapped them for 2 games. Their season was done because they knew they were a less than team.
Family-friendly show. Jeez Louise.
I know. I just wanted my one.
Just could help yourself.
That was just the right thing to say, though. But that really did ruin the Wings season, I think, when Ottawa punked them. And you do need that guy that just will, they'll stand up in the corner. I think with the Panthers, Matthew Tkachuk's a prime example. He's just that guy. I don't want to mess with that guy. We don't have I don't want to mess with that guy. And it's different than, the Jamie Benn is like, I don't want to mess with this guy because he's a psycho. I just don't want to mess with this guy because he could pound me and he's going to score on me. And I don't know why the NHL does this. I'm going to start with Bettman because I think in every league, when you look at the officiating and how it goes back to the commissioner. Why is this happening? Because he's not getting down on the officials saying, why aren't you calling this? Why aren't you calling this? It's, same thing with the MLB. What if you're going to enforce the pitch clock, then do it. Or don't have one. If you're going to have penalties for all these offenses, then enforce them, or people are going to take advantage of them because we're all little babies and we're going to try and push that envelope as much as we possibly can until we get called on it.
Yeah, and that's why I think that, there have been suspensions before. So I went back to look up Donald Brashear and the hit that he took from Marty McSorley, and they had like the 5 worst stick incidences in hockey, and it was in relation to what Gustav Nyquist was going to get for a suspension for a high stick that cut somebody's cheek. And you look back at that, and it's like, dude, you can't be running at people's faces with sticks. And a lot of them were 20, 25 games. So I feel like I'm kind of right up the alley there, where the league can hammer it. They have pass penalties and suspensions for somewhat relative instances of discipline, and they can look back to that and say, this guy got 20, this guy got 25. We're going to give you 20 after you guys get swept in 20 games without a paycheck in the NHL for guys that might be making on average, what, 3, 4, 5 million a season? That's a large chunk of change to lose about a quarter of your year. So good. I hope that they do it, and I hope that Jamie Benn loses his captainship with the Dallas Stars. I hope they trade him and nobody signs him and he has to go play for like the Cincinnati Cyclones or somebody.
You can go play for the Charleston Chiefs because that's where that stuff belongs.
Bush League, that's right.
And the one thing about it is, it's not just him, but you have screwed your entire team because of your inability to control yourself. Because if you're gone for 20 games, and 20 games I really think is a rock solid call. The rest of the playoffs and 20 games, you got one less guy in the locker room, and you have to look around saying and ask yourself, who is, you start questioning, why is this guy our captain? Because that is not how you lead.
No, absolutely not. Absolutely not. You're 100% correct there.
Day, and it's a golf Sunday, buddy. Got to find a Sunday where we go and tee it up, and I got a whole bunch of brand new Titleist AVXs I need to shank into the woods.
Danny and Brighton, appreciate the phone call this morning. Chris says, LOL, you want guys to throw hands in this day and age? It's a microcosm of today's society. First reaction to conflict these days, everyone grabs a weapon. You're right. That's, there's no, that is what it is. That is exactly what it is. I think people are embarrassed, in a fair fight sort of scenario, but then also, we've got a bunch of young people that are completely out of control. So we're kind of in a no-win situation. But he should know better. Jamie Benn should know better, and that should be it. All right, I want to shift gears real quick over to the NBA side of things. Last night's game, highly disappointing for my Miami Heat. I mean, my goodness, what are we doing out there, guys? Heat lose to the Celtics 116-99. They're still up 3-1 in the series. But Game 4, closeout game, you're at home. I'm not going to try to cause false panic here, but this is a very, very slippery slope for this team now. Very slippery. Because if you lose that next one in Boston in Game 5 and got to go back Game 6, it's 3-2. All the momentum is swung to the Celtics. They've already heard the worst, so it's not as if like anything's going to change there. They're playing pretty much free at this point. There's no pressure because they're expected to lose. That's kind of dangerous. Kind of dangerous for my Miami Heat. Now, Jimmy Butler did his thing last night. He didn't shoot it very well, just 9 of 21 for the field, but finished with 29 points, 9 rebounds, 5 assists. He was 10 of 12 from the free throw line. They're not Kevin Love starting. Why, I have no idea. They're not getting anything out of him. He's literally doing like 0 for the team. It was a 1 for 5 effort for my guy Duncan Robinson last night. He was a -12. That was awful. Bam's got to be better. 10 and 5 is not enough. He's got to dominate the paint, especially against Al Horford.
It got to a weird point in like that third quarter.
Yeah.
Miami got up like things like 9. And then it seemed like they're like, okay, we can coast a little. And then
very unheat characteristic play there.
But it was just like they started taking their time, trying to set their offense up, like really just slow, and it just seemed like they were playing with like there was like 3 minutes left in the game. It's like there's 20. And then Boston went on like their 20-2 run or whatever and never looked back. And I don't think I've seen an NBA game in a while where 2 3-point shots were blocked from behind in the same game.
The Miami Heat, I think you're referencing the point where they got up 61-52.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's at the 10:39 mark of the third quarter. The Miami Heat were stuck on 61 until 6 minutes and 11 seconds left to play. So they went up 9 to down 7 just like that. Just couldn't hit a shot. Could not hit a shot. fouling, turnovers. It was just a very un-Miami-esque sort of effort there in the third. When you had the lead and you could have closed them out, like they'll look back at themselves and kick themselves for what took place in that third quarter, because that was just awful. Just awful. And a lot of one-on-one. I mean, Miami in the third quarter attempted all of their shots from either the right wing or in the paint. Like, that was it in the third quarter. And they were 2 for 8 from 3 in the third quarter. Every other bucket that they scored was in the paint. Everything else. They didn't take a single mid-range. And we're talking about a team that's got some good shooters on it. Nothing in the mid-range. Nothing on the left side of the floor. Just and a ton of misses. I know it's a make-or-miss league, and that's what Jason Tatum said after the game. He's like, look, it's a make-or-miss league. There's really no pressure on us. We're down 3-0. We play pretty loose. But I was just very disappointed because I thought that was going to be the sweep, and then we'd be good to go with a few days off, getting ready for the June 1st finals tip-off. And now that is not going to be the case. And to have a lead, to lose it in a closeout game, it's going to be real dicey there in the Boston Garden, TD Garden. 8:30 tomorrow night, Celtics Heat. Celtics got a little mojo.
Or Jimmy Buckets is just going to go out there and put up 50.
50. Maybe double nickel. That's what I
wouldn't
happens.
Be surprised.
I hope he has like an otherworldly sort of effort and just goes crazy in the Garden and cement himself there in Boston. Be their worst nightmare. I love it.
Yeah, don't give Boston hope. They've had enough of a sports lifetime of the last 20 years.
Yeah, this is their time, right? I mean, they win the President's Trophy. The Bruins get bounced in the first round. Celtics, to lose in the conference finals. Just give them enough of a carrot to think that they can, and then break their hearts.
Oh, this is already enough of the carrot. For
right?
some reason, I follow way too
out.
Many Boston sports fans on Twitter.
Oh, you got to stop that. It's bad.
I know. I don't know why.
Help me.
It's one of those things. They have like a couple funny tweets, and then like 3 tweets later, it's like, oh, you're a Boston fan. This was a bad decision.
Or you like one thing, and then all of a sudden your feed is just filled with that kind of shenanigans.
Yeah.
So conference finals is tomorrow night. Remember, you can get in on all the action with the DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the association. Get on the excitement of tomorrow night's Eastern Conference Finals game with the touch of a button. New customers can make a $5 pregame moneyline bet on either the Celtics or the Heat. Score $150 in bonus bets if your pick wins. Plus, everyone can score in the no-sweat same-game parlay. Jimmy Butler, over 50. Let's go. Cash it in. Open up the DraftKings Sportsbook app right now. Opt in and place the same game parlay on any NBA game. If it doesn't hit, you'll get a bonus bet back up to $10. New customers, download the DraftKings Sportsbook app right now. Sign up using the promo code HUGE, would you? Promo code Big Sneeze, HUGE, only at DraftKings. Now, if you or somebody who knows a gambling problem, wants help, needs help, call the Michigan Department of Health and Human Services Gambling Disorder Helpline, 800-270-7117. 21 plus, Michigan only. Bonus bets expire 7 days after issuance. Opt-in is required. One bonus bet issued based on the amount of the initial losing NBA bet. Eligibility, wagering, deposit restrictions to apply. See terms at sportsbook.draftkings.com/basketball. Terms for Dan and Ryan. I'm Anthony saying so long. See you tomorrow. Same time, same place, right here on the Michigan Sports Network.
Hey, this is Matt Shepard from the Michigan Sports Network. I love summers in Michigan because it means golf season. Now, 2 things always when I go golfing. I make sure I got my sticks, and I've got plenty of cold, fresh Labatt Blue Light. Whether I've just squeezed in 18 holes or I just want to relax on the patio after a long day, everywhere I go, and I'm serious when I tell you this, I tell people about the smooth, genuine taste of Labatt Blue Light. It's just a great beer. Michigan Sports Network is giving you a chance to win a foursome to Michigan's best courses. Just listen weekdays to The Huge Show and X's and Bros, or just text GOLF to 21,000 to enter. That's GOLF to 21,000. The trip includes 2 overnight stays and 2 rounds of golf, all brought to you by my friends at Labatt Blue Light. So grab a Labatt Blue Light the next time you head out onto the course and enjoy the blue skies, because blue is for Michigan summers and great times. Always enjoy responsibly. Copyright 2023 Labatt USA, Buffalo, New York. All rights reserved. Labatt is a registered U.S. trademark of Labatt Brewing Company, Ltd.
They say consistency is the key to success. They weren't wrong. So how about grabbing a beer that's consistently smooth, consistently refreshing, and consistently light? you might just find that the road to success can be pretty enjoyable. Michelob Ultra, the perfect balance of taste and refreshment, and only 2.6 carbs and 95 calories. It's only worth it if you enjoy it. Enjoy responsibly. Anheuser-Busch Michelob Ultra Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
The 1-2. Right side, there it is! Hey, sports fans, here's a hanging curveball that you can knock out of the ballpark. This is Matt Shepard, the voice of Detroit baseball, inviting you to step up to the plate at Eagle Casino and Sports, the mobile sports book where you can bet on all your favorites all year round, including, of course, our national pastime. So download the app and start winning today. Eagle Casino and Sports, made in Michigan, made for Michigan. Must be 21 years or older and in Michigan to play.
Have you ever played golf at Tullymore, St. Ives? Have you experienced a stay-and-play package in Canadian Lakes, Michigan, less than an hour north of Grand Rapids? Well, here's what you need to do if you want to take advantage of great deals right now. Go to TullymoreGolf.com. That's TullymoreGolf.com, and you'll see the link for packages, accommodations, dining, meetings, weddings, events, and so much more, and especially golf on the 18-hole layout at Tullymore and the 18 holes at St. Ives. And they can accommodate any group, whether it's 2 people getting together or 200 looking for a weekend or an overnight celebration. That includes a little business, golf, great food, and beverages. Just go to TullymoreGolf.com. That's TullymoreGolf.com. They're located in Canadian Lakes, Michigan, less than an hour north of GR. Get more info at TullymoreGolf.com.